Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're back with it's been a while. Yeah, this tournament was it's still going on. So this is the semifinal of the big team tournament. So the way this tournament works is basically it's a 5-on-5 tournament. 3 of the players on the team play a best of 3. Each win of course is a point, and that's individual wins if I'm not mistaken. And then at the end there's a 2v2. So the remaining 2 players play a 2v2. We have the trailer for this. How could I not show it? Yeah, so we made a team trailer. I'm sure you guys remember it. So we'll play that here in just a second so you guys can see that. But this is actually the semifinals. So we won our first match against Team BBB. And we had 2 other matches aside from that, which we did win against other teams. But unfortunately, not all the replays were saved. So it would have been a little bit disconjointed. But here is a very, very intense series for sure. So this is us, Team Gard, against Knights of the Black Grail. Which, of course, the Viking in chat, the Viking Total War, Viking Cat. That's the team that he is running here. And man, oh man, we got some great games. How you guys doing? It's been a while. Yeah, we got a... Oh, my health's good. My health's good. I wasn't away for health reasons. We got caught in a really nasty move. And so we moved to another city that was relatively far away. And then we moved into a house that had mold problems behind the wall. And they didn't, obviously tell us anything about it. So we had to move out. And then we had to move back. And all the moving expenses and drama and trucks and God, so we're back in LA now, back to our original place for now. And yeah, we're back. We're streaming. It's good. It's good. It's good to be hanging with you guys again. It was a stressful couple weeks. So yeah, we have a trailer for this, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's down here somewhere. So let's watch the trailer real quick. Turin is playing Horde. Dude, I was playing Horde mode. Yeah, my bases were constantly being raised. It was just horrible. We had the Nurgle plague. It's just, oh God. It was horrible. Dude, it's such an unholy nightmare. God, it was so bad. Yeah, but we're back in our old place, which at least is stability, right? Yeah. We got our money back. Yeah, so basically we got our rent back and our deposit. They're sending us a check with that, but what we didn't, the moving expenses are still big, right? You have to get a truck and potentially myself, I have an injured hand, so I had to hire movers because I can't lift super heavy things easily. So those expenses are where we got punched in the wiener. Anyways, on to more positive things. Let us go ahead and watch the team trailer. So here is an introduction of our team. You'll see all our members and yeah, it's pretty great for sure. Let's do it.
Tremble mortals and despair. Doom has come to this world.
Featuring Turin. Lotus Moon. King of the Dead. Hadries. And 2-time ever-chosen champion Aerocrastic. And last but certainly not least, Wookiee.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was pretty ridiculous. It's been a while though, right? You guys like that? Yeah. Who's your favorite on the whole team? I think most people probably say King of the Dead just because he's on Grom the Punch, but Wookiee is pretty good too as Gorich there at the end. But yeah, got to start doing more stuff like that. I thought that was really funny. Yeah. LOL indeed. Yeah, Arrow is they're all really good. Lotus is Malice is great. Hadries is as Deathmaster flying in the air. Yeah, it was just all fun. All those are good. The pinnacle of human art, I know. Well, it's about time. It's about time. Let's load into the first match of the day. So here you can see the scoreboards are going to be popping up. It's Gard versus Knights of the Black Grail. We'll just put Black Grail for now. We're going to be loading into our first match, which is a best of 3 between Lotus Moon and the Viking Total War. So again, for anyone just joining, it's a 5v5 tournament. There's 3 best of 3s for 3 players, and then the remaining 2 players face off in a 2v2. 2v2 is weighted for more points simply because 2 players are involved on each side. So the 2v2s are very important, but so every game is important, really. Even if you do lose the series, getting 1 point from that series does actually help your team out. Yeah. Sprung for the quality voice actor. I know, it was great. You guys like that? I should do some Hollywood movies. All right, let's load into the first match here. So, firstly, we do have the Tomb Kings facing off against the Warriors of Chaos. Lotus Moon is going to be the champion of our team here, and he is playing the Tomb Kings facing off against the Viking here in chat. Hanging out, he is playing the Warriors of Chaos, and this is a very, very strong build. As someone, I consider myself to be a Chaos player, and this is definitely the direction to go. Just halberd spam with no good targets, especially considering he probably knows that Lotus Moon really likes to use Bone Giants, and Bone Giants really have no good targets here. You can snipe the Chaos Sorcerer of Death, maybe shoot at the Horseman, but aside from that, like a single halberd, any infantry unit can really tie up a Bone Giant for like 45 minutes. So, are you ready to rumble? I know. I'm ready to rumble. I'm good. Let's do it, man. So yeah, for the Chaos Army, this is a kind of a style of play that I've seen a lot of high-level players adapt. The first player to show it to me was actually Aerocrastic, and ever since then, this has been more or less the direction of the build I like to use as well. So Chaos Warrior Halberds with Marauders, Sigvald, just this presence to chase things down. And you can go with either a Firecaster, Deathcaster is fine as well. You pretty much always see Burning Head. And yeah, you can see Viking here with a very nice build. He's got the Chaos Sorcerer with Burning Head and a Death Sorcerer just to help in those duelist situations. Now for Lotus Moon, the dreaded double Bone Giant build. He's got Arc in the Black, 4 Skeleton Horseman Archers, which are actually pretty effective at skirmishing here against the Marauder Horsemen. And the Bone Giants, of course, are going to be getting some nice sniping in. You can see here that the Marauder Horseman getting pops pretty good, and Wookiee's barking at something. I'll have to check on him in a minute if he keeps barking. You guys hear that? Oh my god, Wookiee. Wookiee, you need to calm down back there. Yeah, so we're partially back in the house. Some of the house is still being painted, so he's here, he's all pissed off. But basically, Marauder Horseman pounding into these guys, the Skeleton Horseman pounding into the Marauder Horseman, and the Bone Giants accentuating that and really putting some serious hurt on them. In the meantime, some counter skirmishing going down from the Warriors of Chaos, and they're throwing some javelins here into the Skeleton Horseman Archers, but like I said, the range advantage 140 against 80 with proper micro. Lotus Moon should be able to have a big advantage into the skirmishing game, and so far, it's going well. However, there is kind of a ticking time bomb, which is basically this massive Chaos Army. One sec, guys. I'm just going to check on Wookiee. So, Wookiee has not enjoyed the move at all. So, let me just check on him 1 sec, make sure he's all good, and I'll be back. Sorry about this, guys. The beast calls. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Wookiee was like battling with our other dog, and they were like fighting over the bed, and I just had to I had to serve as the mediator there in that situation. He wants to play. He's waiting for his game. He's like, I'm on the team. Why am I not getting to play? Now here on the far side of the map, Necropolis Knights with Halberds, not going to be super effective against infantry here. And honestly, another thing here in Lotus's army that really doesn't have any targets. They do have decent AP and can pack some punch against infantry, but really they're going to lose to any of these Halberd units and have a little bit of a problem. Now, Necropolis Knights falling back once again, but the Chaos Marauders, of course, hot in pursuit, and you can see a little bit of damage there on those Necropolis Knights as well. The Boner Giants continuing to launch their giant shafts into the face of these Marauder Horsemen on the far side, doing some okay damage, but this is where it gets really, really scary for the Tomb Kings. Now, Arc in the Black is on Skeleton, or his Skeleton Horse here. He can drop some summons to buffer and buy some time, but there's Forsaken coming in on the flanks. And Forsaken are very, very good against Tomb King's base infantry. And here you can see Skeleton Horse Archers going to get a charge, and it doesn't look like the Forsaken had a countercharge order, so they're not going to really just like brutalize these Skeleton Horseman Archers here, but nonetheless, they're not going to want to stay too long. Huge Burning Head coming in from the Viking here in the front line, going to be going through Gard. Oh my god, this is Value City. That's going to be like 800 gold value as those very expensive elite infantry. One of the few infantry units the Tomb Kings have here that can actually win their fight are suddenly in a losing situation. So very, very nice Burning Head. This is also another big problem. The Bone Giants have used about 30-40% of their ammunition, but now Sigvald's just going to be going balls deep and hunting this thing down. And this thing is running, Sigvald's chasing it. I think probably Sigvald costs a little bit less than a Bone Giant, or at least kind of similar in the ballpark. This is very, very strong. There's nothing in this army. I mean, Necropolis Knights with Halberds can kind of push Sigvald off, but really he's just going to get damage on them. There's always something that's just being disrupted, right? So Bounce Power is still pretty even. The Bone Giants have done relatively okay in the skirmish game. You can see many of the Marauder Horseman units are forced back, but Chaos is handedly winning the infantry fights here, as the Skeleton Spearmen are just being crumped down by the Forsaken and the basic Marauders. Mirror Guard are pushing through. 2 units of full health Halberds getting in there as well. Here we have Marauders defeating Skeletons. Pretty much the entire Tomb King's battle line is losing badly. And there's no Tomb Scorpions, there's no Necropolis Knights with lances, there's no Casket of Souls. There's not a lot in this Tomb King's army that really is going to be effective at clearing out hordes of infantry. Bone Giants are quite pitiful when it comes to that particular situation. And now you can see the balance of power is going into the favor of the Viking here, of the team Knights of the Black Grail, and they're pulling ahead here in this first match. Certainly a very, very strong start. Another Burning Head going to be bunker busting here on the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion. Although it does kind of go into the Marauders, but it doesn't really matter. As long as it hits these guys, those Marauders are pretty much on their way out anyways. But Burning Heads have been quite good. That one kind of took a little bit of an unfortunate turn, but it's not the end of the world. Now, Lotus Moon here, going to be dropping a summon. The Ushapti summon is popped here onto the Chaos Marauders, and in the back, the last of the Marauder Horsemen. I think there might be some in the corner. Looks like they're all forced off the back of the map, but the Bone Giants are running, and when Boner Giants have to run, that is not good. And wow, somehow these Kepler Guards survived. Really a testament to their durability, but Sigvald, he's Thanos, man. He's inexorable. He's on that hunt. He's moving after this bad boy. This Bone Giant does get Libra Mortis, which will buy some time, but its leadership's negative. It's surrounded by halberds, and of course, with the recent mass changes in the Greenskin DLC, it's really hard for things like this to push through infantry like they used to. Yeah, it can, but the whole time, it's going to be getting shanked by halberds and all that sort of good stuff. Now, the build from Lotus here seems very heavily designed to deal with kind of an old school style of play. Before Sigvald got buffed, people would often bring Archeon, and he's a pretty good target to snipe on his horse. You would see Shaggots, you would see, various monsters like that. So the double Boner Giant certainly had some teeth in this matchup at some point, but I think the meta has shifted quite a bit to seeing builds like this. Chaos Halberds, all that sort of good stuff. Just super hard width, which is tricky for Tomb Kings to deal with, right? Because if you bring Ushapti, they lose the halberds. You bring Tomb Scorpions, they lose the halberds. You have to use things like caskets, and of course Death Magic can be quite helpful. And Ushapti's buffered with the right supporting infantry can do the trick, but really Balance of Power is getting to the point of no return. Sigvald just going absolutely ape here, and this Bone Giant is going to be going down as he drops that big Mike Tyson right hook right there. And one of my favorite animations for sure, but the Bone Giant tries. There's the backhand, or the bow hand. Looks like there's going to be a Fate of Buna going down. Yep, on the Chaos Warrior Halberd. Certainly not a bad choice, but Balance of Power is almost point of no return here as the Viking does pull ahead in this particular match. Ark in the Black is over here with the Staff and Big Ash. You know, he's laughing as evil necromancers do, but there's just far too many Chaos Infantry, and I played this matchup many times from the Chaos perspective, and this is a very typical sight. If people go for like monster sniping and you just bring this wide halberd build, it's very strong, honestly. And even if Tomb Kings do prepare for it with caskets and proper tools, you know, you still have a good chance because you have Spirit Leech, you can bring Fireball as well to snipe those targets, and, you do your thing. So there they go. Kepler Guard, the last of their people, holding valiantly against the Warriors of Chaos, but back to the sands they go once more. And that is going to be all she wrote for those bad boys. Man, a huge donation coming in from Weaver. Thank you so much. I missed that during the heat of commentary. 120 bucks. Hey man, just wanted to show my thanks for the countless hours of entertainment you've offered. Phenomenal work, and I hope to see Warhammer 3 shenanigans. You will. Dude, I'm going to be going so ham on Warhammer 3. Thank you so much, Weaver. That is a super generous donation, guys. Let's hear a shout out for our boy Weaver here in chat. You know, tough start there for Team Gard, the Viking. I believe you're the team captain of this team, Viking. Very, very nice start. Able to claim that victory, but it is a best of 3 series, so we'll see how this goes. Yeah, Tomb Kings forgot their Mortis engine. Yeah. Chaos just mad they have so much trouble killing vampire counts, so they have to go ham here. Oh my god, did I just get the black screen of doom? Hold on, guys. I just got to restart my game real quick. Oh, that's so annoying. 1 moment. Move to that, and we can go here. And let us go ahead and go to the team scores. That's 1 point for 1 point for Gryffindor. For Knights of the Black Grail. All right, 1 sec, guys. I just need to shut down my game and reboot it real quick, so just bear with me. Warhammer 2. One of the toughest games to minimize. I'm trying to think of other games I've had that if you minimize it like the wrong point, it's like just throws a diva fit. But Warhammer is definitely up there for sure. It's definitely up there. Look at this, King of the Dead in chat. He's talking shit about his teammate. Come on, man. You're supposed to be like, hey, it's okay. It was a valiant effort. You know, you brought a build that wasn't, good against what your opponent brought. You're supposed to be there, King, to, support him. But here you are, just talking some shit. Oh, man, King. Yeah, double casket, double scorpion for sure. That can be strong. Double caskets can really handle the Chaos Halberds, and scorpions can clear out the Marauders and the other troops. I agree. I think 0, that's a decent assessment. There's a number of ways. If you bring Cetron as Sphinx, for example, he can also deal with infantry if he has proper support on the ground. Even like Chariot Cetra. Chariot Cetra actually has beaten me in that matchup because he kills Sigvald really easily, and on top of that, he Shreks the infantry. So there's a bunch of ways that Tomb Kings can play that. There's a bunch of ways. What's your next prediction for the next DLC? Well, Beastmen versus something, I would guess. Yeah. King says, I'm going to talk shit if he brings Tomb Kings and loses. All right, fair play, man, fair play. Can't trust King, says Viking. Oh, that's funny. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and load into the next game here. Let's have some fun. Thanks again for joining. It's been a pleasure hanging with you guys. And game 2 here in this best of 3 series. We'll see if Lotus Moon can get back on the board, score a point for Team Hag Gard. It's going to be the Viking on Greenskins versus Lotus Moon on his beloved Elves. Certainly a fun one. Certainly a fun one indeed. All right, guys. So predictions in this matchup, usually a lot of Orc Biggins and Spider Riders. That's pretty much the kind of what's become meta in this matchup, right? Because Wood Elves just struggle against Biggins in general, and Spider Riders just are such value pieces against the Wood Elves. It's very, very strong. I used to think this matchup when it first happened was Wood Elf favored when the DLC came out, but after playing it against some really top level players, I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. Hey, Melee Slon, thank you for the 50. Holy shit, man. You guys are so generous. Thank you for those donations. Appreciate that, Melee Slon. That is very, very kind of you, my friend. And here we are, Melee Slon. This one's for you. Hope you appreciate this. Enjoy this glorious matchup. All right, looks like we're good. And yes, now as far as the builds go, here for Lotus Moon, he's got Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shard. Certainly pack a punch. They can shoot the spiders relatively well with a lot of DPS and can also nail the biggins down to the ground. So we got the Sisters of Twilight on a dragon. That is a really rare sighting. Is it called the biggest because Ultra Funds? No, it's called the biggest because it's a big team tournament. So that's basically it. So we have the Sisters of Twilight up on the dragon. They do not have their bow sniping ability, but they do have the Conjoined Destiny, which I believe this is pre-patch, but I believe it just got fixed to the point where those bad boys can heal. We do also have a Spellsinger of Shadows here for what appears to be Pendulum, and a Spellsinger of Life for healing. So double Eagle, definitely a goon squad of sorts. Wild Hunters of Kurnus, Wild Riders on the far side. We do have some Glade Riders with Spears and Sisters of Thorn here, and that is pretty much it. Very, very cool. And now if we take a look here at the forces of the Greenskins, who are going to be led by the Viking, Total War. He's got the Orc Biggins, it looks like 3 or 4 in the front. Night Goblins, more Goblins, just throw a bunch of silver cheap shields at him and, and hope it works out. Hope it works out. We got Rustiers in the back, Spider Riders everywhere, more Spider Riders and more Spider Riders. And that is pretty much it. On top of that, we do have Grom the Punch and pretty cool army. Yeah, definitely pretty strong. Spider Rider Archers, basic Spider Riders. You just swarm them, push forward, push the Wood Elves into the corner of the map, and try and hope they make some bad, engagements with their dragons and things like that. Ephraim Va, hell yeah, man. Dono for the Warhammer God. Hope you're doing well. Hey, doing as good as I can. Thank you so much for that donation. Thank you. I'm living in a cardboard box at the moment. No, we're back in our old place, actually. No, the replays, actually checked all the replays, Viking, and they were good. They didn't seem to be broken by the most recent patch. Sometimes, some of them break, some don't. It's kind of a back and forth thing, but so far, this is to be expected, right? Wood Elves are going to get some early damage. They'll get some poking in, but the Greenskins just keep pushing, and, sometimes the ammunition from your Deepwood Scouts, you lose bounce of power from shooting inefficient targets, right? So if you're not hitting the skirmishers and you're shooting the goblins and, the chaff units and things like that, it can actually hurt you in the long run, so... Magnum Knights, Warriors of Chaos Wind just inflames my desire for more blood for the Blood God. Well, man, eventually it'll come. Now here on the far side, looks like Lotus going in for a pick, going after these goblins here in the low ground. The goblins do get terrified, but Greenskins are here to countercharge. Forest Goblin Spider Riders, if they catch anything, can really, like I said, the goblins got punished a little bit, but the Sisters are now on the ground, and it's a little bit dangerous. They could get hammered here pretty good. Now in the front, Goblins pushing forward, as well as the Orc Biggins coming after these Deepwood Scouts, who I do not believe are shooting right now. I think they have their ammunition kind of turned off at this point. And it looks like we're going to have some sort of a engagement over here, perhaps. Spider Riders coming, Grom the Paunch coming here. Grom's got to be a little bit careful. Sisters, of course, can defeat him in combat pretty easily on the Dragon versus Chariot. But, Grom is very elusive. Even if you make some, messy engagements with him, he can usually get away and be fine. Now, Spider Rider's going in pretty aggressively here for the Viking. 32 speed, the curse is popped here, and the Sisters are being sent into combat, but... that kind of is a death sentence for those Sisters. Now they're poisoned. They're probably not going to be able to get away, so we'll see if it's worth it in the end. But, so far so good. They had some Glade Riders, and if they can break off the Spider Riders, they should be able to escape quite well. Another good engagement here for the Wood Elves, able to get these Spider Riders and Goblins crumped down, and very little damage in return. So far so good here for the Wood Elves. But again, Bounce of Power does reflect the Wood Elves being ahead, but the Greenskins are still moving, man. They're still pushing, and the Wood Elves will rapidly run out of space here. You can see the edge of the map is kind of in this direction, so they will get cornered eventually. And the Greenskins are, they're hustling, man. They're moving and grooving, but Wood Elves definitely ahead in the bounce of power here. Lotus Moon has done well, mitigating many of the risks right now, but now Spider Rider Archers are moving up. Going to start shooting at the Sisters up in the sky. We do have Earthblood. No regrowth, no big thick healing. We do, of course, have pendulums here. Now, another charge coming in from Lotus. Sisters of Thorn hammering into the goblins, and these unbreakable ROR goblins look like they might be able to sink some of their daggers here into the Glade Riders as they do move forward. You can see the shanks going down, and the Glade Riders with spears are going to be falling back. And oh, look at that, even some wild fanatics being thrown. Yeah, it is really funny, actually, how goblin shields are actually better than dwarf shields at blocking things. I guess the theory people would say is that, well, the goblins are so small, their shields are, big enough to block their whole bodies. That's not the case. Like, the dwarven shields are like these massive Gromril shields. It's a pretty funny thing. Anyways, just a balance thing, really. Over here, it looks like some Deepwood Scouts have been caught. Grom the Paunch is here. There's some Orc Biggins rapidly in pursuit. Also, some of the Wild Riders are being dragged down on their way out. They still have 31 models, though, so still pretty good in terms of combat efficiency. Up on the high ground, Wild Hunters of Kurnish just cleaning up these ROR goblins are doing their best to do so. And really, you can see ammunition starting to kind of wax and wane here as the Wood Elves do use a lot of their ammo, and that is going to put a lot of the game in the hands here. Ooh, a very risky engagement here from Lotus Moon. He dives with his double bird squad, so the Eagles get in there, and they'll be lucky to escape here. Looks like they might be trapped in by their own Wild Riders. I don't know. They should be able to get away. In the meantime, Mither going down on the Sisters of Twilight. Maybe they're lining up a breath attack on these Orc Biggins. A little bit hard to tell, and yeah, sorry guys, we have some contractors in the back room doing some like vacuuming and cleaning. Oh god, it's been an unholy nightmare, so my apologies. But here you can see the Sisters of Twilight still being shot by the Rusty Arrows, and a lot of damage is starting to add up here, and what little advantage the Wood Elves had is now kind of being normalized, and oh, that must be a misclick. That's got to be a misclick. Yeah, it looks like a big misclick there on that pendulum as it goes down. I think he meant to click here, but it was probably a little bit of a panic situation. Now, Sisters of Twilight moving in, going after Grom the Paunch. Degradans is here, and this is why Spider Riders are so damn good. Like, yeah, they're not going to kill these things quickly, but like now Grom can turn around and circle beat. And look how the tides have turned as the dragon is being beaten on by the Biggins, taking tons of damage, being focused by all this Daka, and Grom the Paunch is now getting in with that big chungus belly and just lays a whooping on those sisters, and they are down for the count. Man, oh man. So looking around the battlefield, suddenly your big expensive dragon piece, which probably costs close to 3,000 gold, gets put in the trash can by a bunch of haggard goblins with spears. But I mean, that's pretty much how the goblins and orcs are in general, right? So like,
The mighty elf warrior, trained for 4,000 years, shanked by a goblin.
That's always like, they train for thousands of years and then suddenly they just, it's just the whole meme of things, right? Now the Spellsinger of Shadows is taken down, and guys, it looks like it's going to be a very, very grim start here for Team Hag Gard, as the team captain of Knights of the Black Grail is able to claim a 2-0 victory here against our champion Lotus Moon. Nonetheless, this was a fun game to watch. A couple little misplays with the dragon did cost him the game. The cavalry engagements for Lotus were very good in the beginning, but in the end, the Viking did get the better engagements and was able to clinch the victory. There you go, guys. There you go. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as the Wood Elves are kind of corralled into the corner, but at this point, very little chance, considering there's so many Spider Riders. There's a giant River Troll Hag here. There's so many elements left in this Greenskin army that are healthy, and ammunition is almost out. There you go, guys. I know, F indeed. Ephraim Vaugh with the crabs in chat, calling it. Hey, Lamp, thank you for the donation of the tenors. Total War Warhammer 3 new PC fund. I know. Thank you, man. I will need a new PC. I'll get one eventually. Probably whenever they announce the launch date for Warhammer 3, I'll just get it like a month before then. Yeah. That's GG. Let's take a look at the value. Yeah, man, Sisters really didn't pay for themselves. 1,100 here. Archers did okay. 700, 1,000, 1,200. Yeah, like Lotus did well with his archers. It really just came down to the dragon. The cavalry did okay to an extent. I find that like Wild Riders just get dragged down by Spider Riders. Yeah, they'll win one-on-one, but in the end, it's hard. It's a tricky one. Spider Riders are really a pain in this matchup. But yeah, Viking played well. It was a good, solid build. Relatively meta, strong play. GG. Jeff in chat, just King of the Dead, just giving Lotus even more grief. Come on, man. Come on. All right, so let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. So if we go to the team score, you can see the Knights of the Black Grail are up 2-0 right now in this series. They got 2 wins against R0, so we'll be moving on to the next match. Let's do it to it. Next one is going to be Aerocrastic facing off against, I believe, Ulrich Rahl. Let's go ahead and double check the replay. And I'll delete those ones to make sure that we don't cast them again on accident, because I am that kind of person. I will literally forget I just casted a game and excitedly cast it again. All right, moving on over. So next up, we have Aerocrastic facing off against Ulrich Rahl. First match is going to be Aerocrastic on Warriors of Chaos against Vampire Counts. Wow, he must have really gotten counterpicked there. But, or maybe he has some tech pick or something. I'm really actually quite eager to see this. I'm really. Thiago, I'm not sure. I'll double check after the stream. Yeah, the pendulum was just a misclick, but Yeah, Way, don't worry. I'll get your bingo card up. Not on this stream, but I have a faction war coming up, and we'll be using the bingo card for that. I promise you, I'm going to use it. I love the bingo card, man. All right, here we go. Let's load in. Let's do it to it. So here we have Arocrastic on the Warriors of Chaos facing off against Alric Rawl, the champion of the Black Grail here, and he is going to be on the Vampire count. So clearly there was some sort of a... Yeah, don't worry, Way. I'm going to be using it for sure in a lot of streams. It's just been so hectic right now. I've just been, yeah. You can't see? You should be able to see now. Let me know. The comeback is on. Good game should get recasted a few times. I know. Just go in there, cast the same game like 5 times in a row. You guys should be able to see now. Yeah, looks fine. Anyway, so yeah, Arrow gets on Warriors of Chaos here. So he must have picked Chaos and banned a couple other factions. Maybe there were some other factions he was more worried about, and he had some sort of a tech piece here against the Vampire counts. But this is a matchup that is extremely Vampire count favored in my anecdotal experience. Maybe some Chaos players might disagree, but I seriously doubt it. I think it's very, very difficult. Mortis engines are hard to deal with, so. The Viking in chat says, I played the same build against Zablaski in Turin's Faction War in the game that was also casted. Yeah, that build looked familiar, for sure. So yeah, this is a wild Chaos Dragon sighting. So here we have a Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire, double Exalted Hero with Mark of Corn in Exalted or Hellfire Sword, so a lot of fire damage. Marauder Horseman, on the ground we do have Aspiring Champions, Chaos Marauders, Demon Spew, yeah, oh wow, and double Chosen with Great Weapon. Okay, interesting. Usually you see Chosen Halberds here because of the presence of monsters on the Vampire count roster, but this will certainly cut through the infantry faster, and honestly, they'll still do very well against like Blood Knights and things like that. So yeah, this is a very, very cool build here for Arocrastic. Let's see if he can pull this bad boy out against a very top tier player here in Ulrich Rawl. They're both top tier players. So for Ulrich, a little bit more meta, right? He's got the Goose, he's got the Strigoi King with the self-healing, skeleton zombies, and in the back he's got double Blood Knight. So yeah, Mortis Engine, monsters, you know, Blood Knights to just skewer everything else. It's pretty strong. I mean, this is a problem for sure for the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. You know, just getting Spirit Leech spammed. Basically what Ulrich will do is probably just, you know, mitigate the engagements and use as many Spirit Leeches as he can. Here, Arocrastic does jump in with the double Exalted Hero and just goes after some zombies, trying to get some freebies where he can. Way, thank you for the 19 DKK. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that, and I'm really excited to use your bingo card, man. I promise, we'll be using it soon. And the Exalted Hero does take a little bit of a poke from the Strigoi Ghoul King, who is hot on the hunt here. Is that the Ghoul King? Oh shit, that's the Ghoul King. That's not the Strigoi Bloodline Lord. Okay. Now up in the sky, we have the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire getting caught in a little bit of a pit fight here versus the Terrorgeist. Early on, I would say the Vampires did get some better engagements, but oh man, Arocrastic coming in with the counter punch. Hellfire Sword's active. Look at this Terror Goose just getting crumped by these Exalted Heroes. Holy shit, that is a lot of damage. Spirit Leech going down once again, and they are hot on the tail of that Goose, getting quite a bit, but it looks like the Terrorgeist is going to be able to get away. But then it turns around. Maybe the Warriors of Chaos do want to recommit to the Air Force fight. That was a lot of damage, though. So now Blood Knights moving into the front, probably going to hammer into these Chosen, but the Chosen will actually defeat them pretty handedly in combat, and their armor will probably, you know, pretty much mitigate the damage they take from this charge. Yeah, you can see barely any damage, and if the Blood Knights stay for like a second too long, they're going to start taking some big casualties against these Halberds. So now Arocrastic flying over with the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire. Looks like maybe he's going to be preparing a Downward Fireball or a Flaming Sword of Ruin, so Flaming Sword of Ruin is active. And yeah, they're actually going after what appears to be the Blood Knights. This is kind of a risky land here for the Warriors of Chaos, although if he can escape back this way, should be okay, because there are Blood Knights here, and now you can see Ulrich Rawl is going to be going in. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire is trapped, and I think Chaos just has to blow its load, use all its magic, all its abilities right now. Cascading Fire Cloak is active, and we have a very, very messy fight for sure. Now, Chaos, of course, winning the infantry fight. Spawn, Demon Spew, Chosen doing some good work, but this is pretty much the fate that you usually see from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. They pretty much always just get gooned in this matchup, and the other Exalted Hero here is trapped for Arocrastic, and Ulrich Rawl really getting a bunch of damage in there. That Exalted Hero, yeah, he might actually get broken right now. The other Exalted Hero may be thinking about getting in there. Breath Attack going to be coming in from the Chaos Dragon, I think, maybe right on top of the Mortis Engine. That'd certainly be quite strong. Fellbat's up in the sky looking to engage, but yeah, the Vampires are pulling ahead in terms of the bounce of power. The other Exalted Hero down on the ground really, really having a bad time as the Strigoi Ghoul King is able to kind of nibble on his heels. But there's still, you know, a fair amount of healthy Chosen, but the Mortis Engine is just such a hard counter. It doesn't care, you know, what quality your infantry are. It'll go right through their armor. It'll just pretty much the only factor for Mortis Engines is HP, right? It just needs to work through your HP. I believe Magic Resist can help against it, but yeah, it's not the best thing in the world. Now, Breath Attack's coming in from the Gooses. Nice one by Ulrich there, taking about 8 Chosen down. He also gets it right down the pipe of these Aspiring Champions in Forsaken. Now, one thing that could happen is that the Chosen and Chaos Infantry could grind through all the chaff, and then maybe, just maybe, like, the Gooses would get stuck fighting Elite Infantry in the late game. Over here, Arocrastic pulling back his Marauder Horseman, going to be moving away from the Blood Knights. Certainly a good choice. Blood Knights, of course, Have 110 armor and really good shields and could absolutely massacre them. But yeah, this is going to be a painful charge. Blood Knights do get a charge into the back of these Spawn as well as these Forsaken and seem to be doing pretty well for themselves. And yeah, you can see that's not what the Warriors of Chaos want to be dealing with. Although the Demons be holding quite well, and yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't break there. Now, what Arrow's probably going to go for is like some isolation attempts. If he can like find Ulrich Rahl slipping up just like this, for example, he gets a 2v1 here, might be able to get some good DPS on this Goose, we'll find out. The other Exalted Hero looks like it wanted to go after the Necromancer for a moment, but man, oh man, those Spirit Leeches are a ticking time bomb, and it's really starting to wear down the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. And how much? 1,800. Ghoul King's going in with 5,000 HP, and yeah, that dragon is not going to be happy here. Granted, fire damage will do a bonus against Strigoi, and of course there is fire damage here. With the Hellfire Sword, we have fire damage here, but that dragon is in big trouble. So at this point, Aerocrastic falling back, trying to get the Marauder Horsemen underneath to throw some support up into the skies. The Chosen still going pretty good. 47 models here. The other ones are still at 51, but their HP is getting a little bit precarious. Dragon might turn around and just fight this. I don't know. The Goose, I think, can probably catch it, especially with the poison. It's got 69 speed. That's what she said. And that thing is just right on his tail, man. We'll see if the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire can get away. It's trying its best, man. It's hoofing it. The other Exalted Hero here on the far side taking a 1v1 fight against the mighty Ghoul King, who does have the Red Fury, which is going to, or the Bloodlust, or whatever the hell it's called, going to be giving him a nice little boon, and the Blood Knights are chasing. Oh, maybe he could have turned around and fought there. Now, Arrow is still getting hunted in the sky. Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Fire is punished here by the Terror Goose, and the Goose is certainly going to be claiming victory in that particular duel, as the Spirit Leech does go down. Negative leadership. This thing probably is going to be breaking here. And yeah, will the rest of the Chaos Army be able to grind this one out? Let's see. So we have Aspiring Champions, we do have Spawn. We have, but yeah, with the Mortis Engine and pretty much only infantry alive, and also Ulrich Rahl pretty much claiming complete dominance in terms of the leadership fight and the Air Force fight, it's really going to shut down this other Exalted Hero. I'd be really, really surprised if Aerocrastic was able to pull this game back. Demon Spew have 28 models. The Mortis Engine still bumping and grinding. Chosen are not immune to Psychology, so Terror Routes are going to come down. On top of that, Ulrich Rahl does have the Blood Knight advantage, so they are going to be able to chase down any elite units that break. And yeah, I feel like the bounce power should even be worse right now. But we have a couple Chaos Marauders moving back in. Exalted Hero doing pretty good. Might be able to kind of cheese out this Mortis Engine. We'll see. But yeah, the Mortis Engine able to kind of Tokyo drift back through its own forces, and you can see it's going to be escaping to the other side quite safely here in this engagement. So again, looking pretty grim for Team Gard, my friends. Right now, Ulrich Rahl would be going up 1-0 in this best of 3 series between himself and Aerocrastic. A nice timing breath attack. That's going to nail that guy right in the head. Oh my god, negative 13. That did so much damage. And the Strigoi Ghoul King, he's pissed about not being picked. He just wants to show us why he's still a thing. Doing very, very good work there. So last of the Chosen continue to grind down the zombies, but the Mortis Engine, like I said, stable. Invocations of Nehek should be on the table as well. Get a big one there, heal up all those troops, and methodically go after these guys. The Exalted Hero has been in tactical reserves here in the back for quite some time. Yeah, Chaos Sorcerer Lords are just very, very squishy, and like, I don't know. Yeah, I find that there's something about them that just makes them bad. I don't know what it is. Although arguably, you know, they can, you saw in the beginning, Arrow did get some really good gooning, so there is some strength to it, and you know, I did like his build. He put up an amazing fight. I mean, a 6 or 7 minute game here against a very good opponent on a hard counter. That's certainly an impressive feat, but in the end, Blood Knights are just going to get in there and just annihilate these Marauder Horsemen, which are the last bastion of the Warriors of Chaos. And yeah, Strigoi Ghoul King just flying up in the sky, being a haggard little ghoul, and that should be all she wrote for that matchup. That's game 1 between Ulrich Rahl and Aerocrastic. Let's take a look at the value accrued. Lucas, you say you've never seen a Chaos win a match. Well, if you go back 1 match, they literally just won in the last best of 3 series. So Chaos is a good faction. They just have some hard counters, just like a lot of factions. Yeah, Dragon Lord, about 800 value. What little value the Exalted Heroes got was just that initial burst. Chosen, look at the Chosen though, man. These guys were Value City. Check this shit out. 2,000 value on them, 21,000 damage, 2,300. Those Great Weapon Chosen really, really doing some huge work. Very cool piece here. Aspiring Champs, you know, just gave leadership, and yeah. The Chosen were really, really cool, though. 2,000 value piece, no joke. Ulrich Rahl, obviously his Lords did really well. Blood Knights did okay. But yeah, it was the Lords, the Goose, and the Mortis Engine. That pretty much just carried the game for the Vampires, as it always does in that matchup. GG, well played. Awesome match, well played. That is game 1. So let us go ahead and update the scoreboard as we load into game 2. Looking pretty scary, guys. Knights of the Black Grail up 3-0 here in the semifinals of this tournament. So this is the semifinals. The winner of this team match will be going on to play in the grand finals. So we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. Yeah, Chosen are pretty cool. I really like those units. I bet you there'll be stuff in game 3 where you can give them like different marks. Like if you give them Mark of Corn, they'll get like Frenzy, which will give them immune to psychology, or you can give them like Mark of Nurgle. There's going to be some cool stuff for sure. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and find the next matchup. Delete that one. Where art thou? So this is game 2. So if Ulrich Rahl closes this game out, he will win the series 2-0. We'll be down some serious points. Now remember, the 2v2s do count for 2 points apiece. So every game you win with the 2v2 counts as 2 because there are 2 players, so it's weighted a little bit more heavily. So there's a lot going into the 2v2, but honestly, it's quite scary considering their 2v2 team is Fistek, the winner of the most recent Everchosen, as well as Evenstar, another Everchosen player. So their 2v2 team, we need some 1v1s here, 1v1 wins, because their 2v2 players are both not only an Everchosen champion and an Everchosen qualifier. Very, very scary 2v2 with Evenstar and Fistek. Yeah. It's pretty crazy stuff. All right, guys, next game here. Let's go ahead and load in. Thanks again for joining. It's a pleasure to be back streaming with you guys. And yeah, you can see here we do have the Tomb Kings who are going to be Aerocrastic. Of course, we saw him clinch his own Everchosen victory with the Tomb Kings against I believe that was, yeah, Soothsayer's Warriors of Chaos. It was Kolek versus Setra, one of the more epic Everchosen finales we've had, right? So Arrow here going to be on the Tomb Kings. He's got a lot of Nehekar Horsemen to just, kind of counter skirmish, chase on archers. They actually deal with infantry pretty well too. Skeleton Horseman archers, a Screaming Meme Catapult, and he does also have the Chosen of the Gods. On top of that, Lich Priest of Death with Setra the Imperishable with the Foz Protection. So he does have 2 sources of magic, Lich Priest of Death and Setra just for the physical resist, which is certainly helpful in this matchup considering there is a fair amount of sniping. Now for the forces here of Ulrich Rahl, he's currently up 1-0 in the series. He's rocking a front line of Dryads. He does have the double Waystalker, which is actually pretty strong here. If there was a Casket and or the Screaming Meme Catapults, he can certainly target those down. So I love the double Waystalker pick. We got a Spellweaver of High Magic with Soul Quench as well as Apotheosis. Looks like Soul Quench going to be used for some sniping as well. Zotes in the back, we have some Glade Guard with the Starfire Shafts, Spears, and the Lost Sylvan Knights on the far side of the map. So let us party. Let's have some fun. See how this match unfolds. Soul Quench going down. It looks like, oh man, did that just get intercepted? It looks like the Soul Quench was going after the Lich Priest of Death, but the Nehekar Horseman accidentally rode in front of it. Oh man, that's so funny. Ushapti Great Bow is getting some great value, shooting into the Dryads here. They could shoot Zotes, they could shoot Dryads. There's plenty of targets for them here. Also shooting the Glade Guard with the Starfire Shafts probably would be a prudent decision. And now you can see the Screaming Meme Catapults going to be going in to blast the Glade Guard with the Starfire Shafts, which is good. Mass Glade Guard builds can be somewhat common in a multitude of matchups. So having a single catapult just to at least have something to pressure them, I think is a very, very strong pick. Over here we have some light skirmishing. The Skeleton Horseman Archers able to force back the Spellweaver of High Magic, and that's pretty nice. If those 3 Skeleton Horseman Archers can just follow that thing around the map, I think that's going to be great value. So, this is do or die for Aerocrastic. He really, really needs to win this matchup here for our team. Skeleton Archers shooting into the Zotes here as the Lich Priest of Death does slam into them, dropping the base with a Spirit Leech as well. Spears moving up, and ooh, this is a little bit of a tricky pickle. Lost Sylvan Knights moving in to go after that Screaming Skull Catapult. They should be able to probably finish it off. Skeleton Spearmen will not kill them quick enough to really salvage that situation. So that's a really, really nice pick there for Ulrich Rahl. In the meantime, though, some of the Glade Guard Starfire Shafts are getting broken by the combination of fire from the Chosen of the Gods, as well as the Screaming Skull Catapult. So a fair amount of stopping power going in. Some of the Skeleton Horseman Archers a little bit overextended there on the far side of the map. However, there's a very open backfield, and I'm sure Arrow is seeing this here, right? He probably sees the Glade Guard will be moving in to really punish them. We'll see how that goes. Now, the Zotes that did push into the front are hammered down pretty badly. Skeleton Spearmen with Setra are able to finish them off. But man, oh man, those Lost Sylvan Knights really, really a sticky presence here in the back line. But suddenly it looks like Arrow was able to get the Nehekar Horsemen, get a little bit of a surround on them. And, even if they are ethereal, the Spirit Leech from Aerocrastic's Death Sorcerer here, or Death Lich Priest, and the Spears, yeah, this is a big loss here for Ulrich Rahl. If these freaking Lost Sylvan Knights get traps here, and I don't think he has healing outside of Apotheosis, which I think at this point, letting them go is probably a better choice. Save the Apotheosis for the Zotes, who are still combat functional and aren't surrounded, because those guys are going to Pound Town, man. Yeah, 11 models on those Sylvan Knights, probably going to be shattering. Now in the backfield, Aerocrastic getting a really aggressive play. You can see Skeleton Horseman Archers moving in and really, really running these guys down. This is great. I mean, that's why Skeleton Horseman Archers and Nehekar Horsemen are so damn good, man. Just such a cheap, effective unit. Unbreakable, too. So, like, the fact that they're unbreakable, even if they're in a losing situation back there, you can leave them to pin things down and they won't run away, like Dark Riders or Pistoliers or different things like that. So here comes your boy, Setra the Imperishable, moving in. He's kind of low, though. It looks like he might have gotten Soul Quenched, maybe a little bit of a... Oh, the double Waystalkers are actually sitting on Setra. But the Zotes are taken to town pretty badly, while the Lost Sylvan Knights, oh, that's really unfortunate there for Ulrich. He does use another Apotheosis on them as they shatter, so that's it's pretty painful. But yeah, Cetra's holding, man. He is not serving right now. He is the one, he is doing the serving. He's serving the eviction notice here to the Elves. Balance of power is very, very even. Backfield for the Wood Elves is kind of in shambles, as the new Shopti summon is used as well, but those double Waystalkers, I mean, if they just sit on Cetra, they're going to get him eventually. 1700 down to 1650, 2 shots, both of them actually connecting. Those Waystalkers will happily be able to finish them off. Now for Arrow, probably trying to stabilize the Screaming Skull Catapult, getting her Shopti Great Bows back online. That's probably going to be the priority here. Yeah, he's got the 2 catapults. For some reason, I thought he only had 1, but he's got 2. So stabilizing those is very strong, right? Although, another Soul Quench going down. Does it hit? Oh, it looks like he was able to juke that. 1650, he did not take any damage there. Brutal stuff. Somebody in chat, Way, asking, what are the rules in multiplayer when it comes to manually aiming artillery? There are no rules. You can do it at your own leisure. Honestly, it can be a little bit cheeky and fun, but in my experience, it is not worth your time because you're going to lose micro in other areas. But, sometimes if you have like a Hell Cannon shot in the beginning, and they're really far away, it can be worth it. But there's no rules against it because you don't really need to. So here, the Screaming Skull Catapults blasting into the Eternal Guard. The Shopti summon is on its way out. Balance power is pretty even. This is still a very close game. Wood Elves have a lot of infantry left here. Granted, their archers are kind of in the can. Arrow has done a good job of chasing them down, but Ulrich's Lord is still going. Cetra is taking the arrows of Kurnus, and that one misses as well. And the other arrow of Kurnus looks like it is a direct hit, so he takes 300 damage there. And Cetra just kind of drifting on the edge of the map, man. Waystalker is getting a little bit trapped in infantry, which is not where they want to be. They do have 42 speed, so with proper micro, they should be able to get away, but you got to make sure for Ulrich here that they're not wasting ammunition shooting at the wrong targets. And there they go again. Looks like they're going after the Lich Priest. It's a little bit hard to tell. The Eagle might actually go to fight Cetra, kind of flying over there like it wants to, but I think Ulrich knows that's probably not the best idea. Balance of power is actually getting a little bit Wood Elf favored here. This could potentially be a 2-0 here for Ulrich. Legion, currently, yeah, so these replays were fine. I checked them before the stream. I didn't see any substantial issues or any at all, but there might have been something I missed, but for the most part, it seems like they're okay. Although Cetra standing here, I don't know if that's a misplay. That could be, yeah, a broken replay thing, but yeah, maybe that could perhaps be what it is. I'm not sure. Or he could have just forgotten about Cetra. We'll see. Anyways, here, the Hekar Horsemen fighting the Dryads on the low ground and the Skeleton Spearmen still grinding, and now a lot of the Wood Elf infantry in the front are starting to kind of be busted down. The Waystalkers are, of course, trapped in melee here, and you can see they're trying their best. But yeah, he's got 40 armor and 45 melee defense, so yeah, he's really not going to be having a good time in that engagement. And this is the big issue for the Wood Elves. Oh, look at that. The Lich Priest of Death just got sniped by the Waystalkers. He must have put them in guard mode. Yeah, he must have put them in guard mode right there. Oof, brutal, and then they just shot. So basically, guys, if you have a missile unit of any type, let's say it's in melee, it can be a Waystalker, it can be a Glade Guard with Starfire Shafts. Basically, if you put them in guard mode and give them a shoot order, they'll try their best to shoot, even if they are in melee. So certainly a very, very strong tool here. So the Screaming Skull Catapults going into the Eternal Guard, which are chasing down some troops here. And now you can see that the Skeleton Spearmen are moving forward and still keeping these guys trapped in combat. But, honestly, Tomb Kings do pretty well in these type of, grindy endgame fights. Obviously, they all cause fear, and they're all unbreakable, with the exception of Crumbling and things like that. This game and the game 2 for Wood Elf played out, let's see. All Wood Elf and Skaven games will be broken. Interesting. I'll take a look, Legion. No problem. So the Waystalker here, getting busted down, and, if he breaks, the Hekar Horseman can chase him down, no problem. On top of that, the Spellweaver of High Magic probably isn't going to win it, even against a single spear unit, in my experience. Flying overhead, maybe looking for some targets, not 100% sure. And, where is that Spellweaver going? Looks like there might be a Soul Quench shot into the blob here, a little bit hard to say. Especially the Imperishable still standing idle. So yeah, there could be an issue with the replay, according to some people in chat. With just games with Wood Elves in them. The Wood Elf versus Greenskin game seemed to be totally fine, but so far this one may be having some issues with Cetra standing there, but regardless, we'll still be able to push through, and, it'll be fine. The outcomes will all be the same. The Skeleton Spearmen here, still bumping and grinding. A very, very attrition-heavy matchup. This has got to be a pretty bad feeling, having the Waystalkers trapped in melee here. Here comes some Hekar Horsemen, going to be charging into what appears to be the Eternal Guard here in this position, and Screaming Skull Catapults are hidden for some reason. Why is that hidden? You guys see that? I don't know if I've ever seen this before. This thing looks like it's hidden. It has the hidden tooltip. Is there some witchcraft I'm not aware of? I've never seen that. Even in replays that are outdated with patches, I've never seen this happening before. Yeah, that's a very, very strange thing. Now, Skeleton Spearman moving forward. Going to be going after the Waystalker once again. He's trying to go all full Legolas on these guys. And replays record clicks. If that unit is different between patches, the game will... Okay, understood. Got it. So the Waystalker at 12 leadership. Wavering, the other Waystalker is broken. Balance of power is actually... still looking a little bit Wood Elf favored, though, with the Spellweaver. What probably happened is maybe Cetra did indeed die in the previous one. and the model is just kind of stuck here or something, because I don't see someone like Aerocrastic like leaving this character here idle for so long. Turn just occurred to me, could someone intentionally bring an illegal army to force a replay? So here's how we usually do that with banner rules. Basically, if somebody brings an illegal army, you play it. And if the person who has the legal army wins, they get the win. But if the person with the illegal army wins, then they have to replay it, basically. So it's, you know, it should be fine. Stealth catapults. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Are they like facing the... Looks like they might be facing the wrong direction too. And, you know, again, I don't see someone like Arrow making that mistake. So we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding here. Clearly, the other replays we've all gone through so far have been fine. This one is definitely a little bit suspicious. Some elements, of course, make sense, like chasing down the Waystalker and having the skeleton archers fighting here. But there are other elements of the replay that seem very, very broken as we do get into the later stages of things. So, Cetra's hidden too. Yeah, maybe it means those units are dead, for sure. The bird is flying over here. It doesn't look like it's interacting at all with Cetra. So that could perhaps be it. Nonetheless, Skeleton Spears fighting the Waystalker here, still getting some DPS. We'll try our best to get through it, because the outcome will be the same, regardless, or it should be at least. Skeleton Spearmen reforming ranks. Yeah, this replay is broken, 100%. 100% broken. There's no way. Well, sorry about that, guys. It's the curse of moving, but Cetra's probably dead. The replay is very suspicious here. But, yeah, you know, the Spellweaver getting trapped. We'll just fast forward with this. Oh my god, look at this replay. Look at this. This is... Well, I've never seen this. Yeah, so that replay is not correct. Because, yeah, look at this. Okay, this one replay was busted. The other ones were fine. But when it goes to the end screen, because in actuality, Aerocrastic won that matchup. He won that one. I saw, I'm pretty sure he told me, yeah, no, he won that replay. So yeah, we'll have to update the scoreboard correctly here. One sec. But yeah, sorry guys. Aerocrastic did end up winning that game in the end. So man, that replay got really, really screwed up. So let me actually go ahead and check the next replay. So basically replays get screwed up as you go from patch to patch. Yeah. Yeah, the result can change too. Yeah, Legion, I didn't know that. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. But let me go ahead and check the next one before we go in there. But Arrow did actually win that replay, or that battle before. All right, let me check the next one. I'll fast forward through it real quick just to make sure. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it was entertaining up until it wasn't. Up until it broke. Yeah, just go to the last patch. I don't think I can, because the basic patch, you can't like go backwards. Yeah, Arrow won that game in the actual tournament. I'm going to check this replay, make sure it's fine. And if it's not, if the replay's busted, we could just skip to the next one and we'll just get through it. Because most of them looked fine. I guess I didn't check that one earlier. So one sec, guys. Bear with me. All right, let's just fast forward this game and see what happens here. No Rackheart today, no. He was not played in this tournament. This was played like a couple weeks ago. So this was like right before I moved, I think. Or attempted to move, basically. Yeah, so this one seems fine so far. Load the game on the old patch to make them accurate. I don't know if I can get back. Can you go, Valkanos, can you actually go back to the old patch? Is that something you can do? Yeah, I might have to do that for like the Legendary Lords tournament, because we have so many replays from that obviously, you know, might have some issues with that. But regardless, we can always move on in the Legendary Lords tournament. Oh, got it, Legion. Okay, understood. Got it. Well, that one, although, no, Legion, I think you did. I remember watching that. Yeah. Is the quick match ladder reset? I don't think so. And honestly, I don't think we'll see anything like that until we get to, you know, the next... Like, I don't think there's going to be any significant changes to, like, ladder and whatnot until we get to, like, future titles. The replays are confused. So far, so good on this one. I'm just kind of checking it out. When I see the end screen, I'll be able to kind of, you know, keep tabs on things. Yeah, that makes sense. So factions that have had, like, changes, like the ones with Wood Elves and ones perhaps with Skaven might have some problems. In Steam, you can set game build to load in. So you're saying, Valkanos, if you could shoot me a message in Discord. Yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, okay, this one might have some issues too. So hold on. Hold up. All right. So I could probably just switch back real quick, honestly. I think that might be a decent idea. Because there's still a lot of replays. That's so weird. Okay. One sec, guys. Hang tight. Yeah, ladder is weird. There was a time when I had something like, I don't know, I had like a lot of games played on ladder, and then suddenly I would log in one morning and I have like nothing left. There's a trait for Rackhearth called Clever Girls. Oh, so the ladder did get reset today. Oh, okay, I'm surprised. Now's your time if you want to be #1 on ladder. You can do it. Oh, yes. I see now. Okay, so let me close my game. Because it will only take a couple minutes to switch back, potentially. I just have to figure out how to do it. What's that, guys? Just enjoy some sweet jams. Get some pierogies to ease your moving drama. Hey, Paval, thank you so much for that donation. Certainly could use it. All right, so I'm going to go look about switching back to the previous builds. All right, let's see how I can do this. Message someone here. One sec here. So Valkanos, I'm going to shoot you a message on Discord. And I switch back. By the way, at the end of today's stream, we will certainly do some like FFAs and things like that. There were some builds I wanted to try with Rakarth, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so we'll do it. We are live, Tobias. Yes. We are live indeed. Yeah, Viking was messaging me saying some things that were in the replays, even for the earlier games, they happened a little bit differently. Granted, they looked almost like natural mistakes. So yeah. Man, that's crazy how that actually happens. Okay. To down right click on the game. Okay, cool. So going here. So betas, and then we can go back to. Okay, so basically it would be, yeah, I see all this different stuff. What build are we on now? I guess let's try this one. Let's see what happens. We're going back in time, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, for anyone just getting into this is a team tournament. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying. I saw a previous version of the build, so I went for that. Who's on what team? So on our team we have, well, I could show you the trailer again, but it's myself, Aerocrasta, Kadries, Lotus Moon, and King of the Dead. And the team we're facing off against, I believe, is Viking Cat, or the Viking. We have Swarv, we have Fistek, Alric Rawl, and Evenstar. Yeah. So yeah, just hang tight, guys. We'll be a quick minute here, and we're just going to be loading over to the previous build just to see if there was another build that looks like it might be the right one. So we're going to give it a try. It shouldn't take too long. Yeah. We'll see if this works. We got it. All right, we're almost back to the previous build. I can see it updating right now. Just chatting with some folks. Thanks again for helping, guys. Cool. Yeah, there's some. That'll be nice too, because if I want to cast the Legendary Lords tournament, I'm gonna have to switch back. So, because there are so many good replays from that. Man, oh man. Yeah, I rolled back the client right now. It's just updating at the moment. I built a time machine, dude. This is some straight up science fiction going on. We can recast the Tomb Kings vs Wood Elf game. We'll start from there, but I'll first check, of course, and make sure it works and everything. So. One sec. Yeah, some folks saying I have to like go to like some thing and like freaking. I'm gonna take a screenshot and show them. All right. Oh, we need some jams while we're just chilling here, guys. Client. Have you guys been doing? Life been treating you guys well? These have been some wild times we've been living in, man. All right. Almost updated. Switching back. Yeah, because it seems like the other replay like looked fine, but it had that like weird bug at the end screen where it still like didn't show the value and whatnot. So yeah, we can't really stay on that bad boy. Hey, Magic D, it's great to see you're back. Yeah, I know. It's great to be back, man. I really appreciate that donation, dude. It's been such a stressful time. Ben B, here's some money to help with the move. Hey, thank you guys. Really appreciate that support. We're finally here. You're finally here. I might even do 2 streams today. I'm feeling ambitious. Let's see how far along we are. Okay, it's getting there. Updating the game sometimes takes some time. I almost wanted to say something about at least the internet's being fine today, but I don't want to jinx it. I know, Tihone, I know. It was a cold, dark time for sure. Come on, get there. I know you can do it. That's what I'm switching to. The Steam to get a... Wow, I'd have to go there and do that. Okay, guys, just hang tight. Oh, you know what we could do? We could play some chess games. You guys want to see me get wrecked in chess? Oh my god. Aaron Larmore, 2 streams. The Legends foretold of this day. I know. Well, we'll see. I mean, if worst case, what we could do is we could just pause this this action and just have that be like part 1, and then we come back with that. And we could just like do a different stream or something. We could do some like King of the Hill or something like that. You know, we'll see. So we might just shut this stream down and then restart it as a different one. Yeah, the place we're in right now is pretty good sound-wise. I think it'll be soundproofed more or less. The quality should be okay right now. It's not like brilliant, but dude, Aaron Larmore, man, thank you so much for that donation. 100 Canadian buckaroos. Yeah. Let's see if this one works though. I have no idea. It looks like a previous version of the build. No guarantees though. But worst case, we could just pause this and then, you know, this will be part 1, and then we can so you guys got a stream that was 1 best of 3 and half of another one. Yeah. Oh man, that's dark times. Dude, I am so haggard at chess. I am so haggard. Oh my god. I'm just like I was okay for as a kid, you know, but like playing against people who actually study the game, I just get dunked on. Yeah, I like to play speed chess too, because then if I make a mistake, I'm just like, oh, you know, it's okay. Like, you know, it's an honest, you know, it was just because of the time. It wasn't because I'm stupid, you know. Aaron, man, thank you again for that very generous donation. Come on, I know you can finish it. Hi. Big shout out to Valkanos here, who's helping me. He's giving me some tips. So if this is the wrong one, I might have to like, yeah, let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see how complicated this is. Oh god. Anything that's like going into files, I'm just like such a pleb. Alright. Okay, so go to the Steam database, search up your game, click on that app ID of the game you're looking for its details page. Oh my god. Wow, this is some stuff here. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. we're getting tech savvy all of a sudden. Oh my god. Take a look at the jeez. I don't know. This is not something I want to do on the live stream here. You guys want to just wreck me? I think my rating's like 900 or something. This one seems to be stuck. It's like it's just not going. Although it looks like that bar is still kind of moving. We'll let this finish. But if it doesn't work, then we could even just do some chess or something, and then I'll start another stream later. Yeah. I think I'm like 950 or something on 10-minute chess. On Blitz, I'm like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 or something. I'm not very good. I play fast usually. That at least I have that going for me. Turn tech support, I know. Let's see what we can find on this website. All right, so view patch notes for this game. God, gonna have to like go back and do all this. Curse the Baggins, man. Curse the Baggins. Stream ID. Okay, so go to Steam. Click on the app ID of the game you're looking for. Take a look at Depot. Where's that on this page? Wow. Okay. Oh my God. There's so much. This one's about to finish. The one that we're testing, we'll see if that perhaps is a solution. You want to see bad chess? Oh man. Yeah, I'm not like an absolute beginner in chess, but like I definitely hit a wall. Like when you hit this wall where you get to people who actually like know the game and like train and stuff. It's about to finish actually, which isn't bad. Normally it's like it's a slow kind of haggard process. All right, let's see what this game looks like. I just updated to something, so we're gonna try this in the meantime and see if it works. It works, you know. The problem is when you get better, you get matched with harder opponents. Yeah, for sure. King of the Dead, I'm working on it, man. Don't worry. We're here. We're hanging out. We're enjoying each other's company. Just silly things. Why do they have to make new content while I'm... That'll screws up all those glorious replays. I just can't get through them quick enough. I'm going to have to do this for the Legendary Lords tournament too. All right, so let's see how this looks. Checking the replays. Yeah, no, I have a couple openings I like in chess. Like, I can get... I mean, just like everyone, you can watch an opening video and copy it, and then from there, you just make blunders and bad decisions. Which is really funny. Okay, those replays seem fine, actually. Okay, let's fast forward through this and see if it works. You hit a wall at 1600, dude. 1600 is pretty good, man. That's very respectable. When I first started playing, I got up to 1200, and then I tanked after that. Like I started just getting crushed by better players. King, maybe so, man. Maybe so. Valheim's really fun. I've been enjoying that quite a bit. All right, let's see here. Going through this game. You're having such a... Yeah, the Rakarth campaign's pretty fun. I mean, you just get a bunch of big haggard monsters and enjoy yourself, and that's pretty much it. You know, this version seems to be doing okay. Nothing looks like super out of the ordinary at the moment. We'll see. I'm just fast forwarding through this next battle here. We can keep going forward. Well, Legion, yeah. I'll do that in a minute. But also, if the post-battle screen appears to be fine and the stats are all working and there's no like suspicious movements, then that's good too. Yeah, I really like Valheim, but the thing is, once you get to the end game, it's like, you know, that's where I like Minecraft more, is because there's a little bit more to do in my experience. But yeah, no, Valheim was really fun, you know, progressing and doing all that sort of good stuff. Come on, give it to us. Give it to us, Precious. Work. I'm on a different build right now. It was a different option in the drop down menu, so we will see. I've never done this before. Yeah, no, Darko Man, I did switch. I switched to what I believe you're talking about, so we're here. All right, looks fine so far. Thanks again for sticking around, guys. I know it's annoying. Yeah, Rakarth's really fast. I have a feeling the campaign will be done in like, you know. Okay, we got through the game. Seemed to have a normal ending. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, dude. We're back in business. For now. At least that replay is. Oh, yeah. Talk dirty. Well, then. Let's load in. So, unfortunately, guys, the Wood Elf vs. Tomb Kings game is a little bit screwed up, but Aerocrastic did win that. So, technically, right now, we are... let me check these other ones. Yeah, in the... Oh, dude, we're so golden. Oh, yeah, dude. I solved a tech problem. That never happens. That never happens. All right, guys. Game 3 between Aerocrastic and Ulrich Rawl. Sorry about the previous replay being screwed up. But nonetheless, we're here. We did it. King of the Dead's like all stoked. Look at him. All right. So let's go ahead and switch back. And let's do it to it. All right, guys. Now, you know, we could do some chess maybe later tonight. I'll stream chess. Who the hell knows? We'll do something. All right, guys. So here we have Aerocrastic on the Empire, and he has an unbreakable front line. Balls deep, actually. Holy shit, look at that. 4 Flagellants, as well as Sigmar's Son. Backed up by that, he's got Huntsman to deal with trolls and various other big monsters. And in the backfield, we have Knights of the Blazing Sun, which in my opinion are the best in this matchup. Magic Resist helps against Spirit Leeches and Bunas. The fire damage, of course, helps against various troll archetypes, and as well as Grom the Paunch. I think it's very strong indeed. I know. We did it. I deserve some water. Unfortunately, I don't have any here. Tech Tank... dude, I know. I should start a tech YouTube channel. What am I doing here? Bright Wizard does indeed have the Burning Head, as well as the Cascading Fire Cloak, and we have some Spearmen on the flanks. Now for ya boy Ulrich Rahl. So this is, of course, is for the whole series. Both players have won one game. Unfortunately, the replay got screwed up in the last one, but this is fine. Ulrich coming into double Stone Troll. Stone Trolls, of course, durable against missile fire, and also quite good against heavy cavalry. So just got to watch out for their leadership, really. Grom the Paunch, we do also have a giant River Troll Hag. And the backfield here, we have Orc Boys, Orc Boys, Orc Boar Boys, Boys, and more Boys. And Goblin Wolf Rider Archers teamed up with Spider Rider Archers. Very cool army. And, they do pretty well. They can shoot Flagellants, who, of course, have no defense against that. They can deal with the Pistoliers, Outriders, all that sort of good stuff. So, clutch stream save. I know, we did it. We did it indeed. So, Aerocrastic pushing up the hill. The Huntsmen, of course, can shoot and move as long as they're going forward. They can't 360 shoot, but they can move up and advance. And that's going to be a lot of stopping power on those Stone Trolls. Even though they do have the armor, regeneration, missile resist, that still will kill them fairly quickly here. And you can see some nice juking from Ulrich as Grom the Paunch just goes deep here, and he just comes right through these Flagellants, getting some big damage. Now he's going to be moving over, going after these State Troopers, and continuing to just crump with his giant axe. Yeah, Grom the Paunch is always good for a good old chuckle here. Now Boris Todbringer going to be jumping in, going after Grom, and he gets a little bit of damage. He does bait out the Lucky Banner. Probably a decent Lucky Banner, just in case the fighting did continue. But right now, Knights of the Blazing Sun going to be dispatched to the front line. Flagellants moving in on the Orc Boys. And a huge, thunderous Sigmarite charge as those glowing lances just tear through these cheap, haggard infantry. Brutal charge, man. So much damage, getting into both units. But now, perhaps a little bit of an overextension. Yeah, nice follow-up here by Ulrich Rahl. He gets the Orc Boys, he gets the Giant River Troll Hag and some other units, and he collapses on top of the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Very, very nice indeed. And yeah, they're kind of just layering on top of one another. Grom the Paunch in the backfield, trying to get into the Archer line, but now the Knights of the Blazing Sun of Aerocrastic are going to be pulling back, and those bad boys will be moving downtown to either intercept these pigs or Grom. And yeah, Knights of the Blazing Sun handedly defeat Orc Boar Boys if they can get the charge, and a downhill charge on that. So nice charge from those Knights of the Blazing Sun, getting in there and really just brutalizing those guys. Nasty, nasty damage. Also, Terror is now involved, so Boris Todbringer could Terror out them, and that unit could be buckled. Looks like a Burning Head going down as well. Knights of the Blazing Sun with their magic resist going to be quite strong there, and it looks like the Empire pulling ahead very quickly with the Knights of the Blazing Sun just reaving around the battlefield and getting a ton of damage. And even more Orc Boar Boys are being committed to this particular fight here. You can see they're going to be getting into the Huntsmen. We'll get some damage, but they're just going to be sheep to the slaughter here as the Knights of the Blazing Sun. Firstly, we'll go after these Orc Boar Boys, and Orc Boar infantry really aren't super good at clearing hordes of stuff. They're just cheap and kind of janky, but they do their part. Cascading Fire Cloak going down as well, and these guys who are stuck in sustained combat with some infantry seem to be doing relatively well for themselves. What's left of the Huntsmen, or not what's left of them, but the remaining pocket of Huntsmen, look to be in guard mode, taking shots at the Giant River Troll Hag, as the balance of power does reflect the current Empire advantage ever so slightly. Boris Todbringer also, of course, does regenerate. Pretty good against Grom if you can catch him in sustained combat. And here you can see that Grom the Paunch is going to be running over that Bright Wizard. He's got his wheels on, but yeah, just going back and forth, really doing a great job. But the Orcs have appeared to have lost the front line. Knights of the Blazing Sun really dominating many engagements. Boris is in good health, and what's going to happen here is that Harrow is going to pull back his elements. He's going to bring back Boris, the Knights of the Blazing Sun, and he is going to be able to salvage this backline experience, which means 3 Huntsmen are just going to be ripping shots all day, and they're going to be having a very, very good time. So Huntsmen moving forward, still shooting at those Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Knights of the Blazing Sun moving up the hill, perhaps going to be going after those Orc Boar Boys. A little bit hard to see. Yeah, looks like it. And the Sigmar Sunsman, one of my favorite units in the whole game. These guys are just absolute gangsters. Really, really good combat stats. Can easily drag down these pig people in sustained combat. So Balance of Power is getting even more Sigmarite favored as far as comeback potential for the Greenskins. Let's go ahead and evaluate their current situation. They have Grom, they have some pigs, they have the Hag, and a little bit of skirmish cav around the battlefield. But I feel like with Arrow's Huntsman Corps, every time the Greenskins try and push in, they're just going to be punished. And Boris is, if used correctly, a very, very good roadblock against a character like Grom, who would love to get in here. Now, in the back, Ulrich Rahl does dive in with the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. He gets into the Huntsman. Knights of the Blazing Sun, though, bouncing back once again. Should be able to finish off those Spider Riders pretty well, but it does buy some time for Grom to get in here and cause some disruption. But yeah, Orc Boar Boys are broken down. This Hag probably going to be handled by Boris pretty easily right now. Knights of the Blazing Sun, though, do get pulled into some Stone Trolls who are heavily damaged, and yeah, it looks like they still got a partial charge. Cascading Fire Cloak going down, giving them some melee defense, and yeah, the Trolls with the bonus fire damage, they're really, really just not going to hold up to these Knights of the Blazing Sun, which are, again, another one of my favorite units in the game. They're just so badass indeed. Giant River Troll Hag being taken out, like I said, by the Boris. And here you can see Forest Goblin Spider Riders do jump into the Archer line. Obviously, the Knights and other units were allocated to this frontline engagement, which did leave a little bit of an opening for the Huntsmen, but there's some basic state troops back there that can, push these guys off. And also some Knights of the Blazing Sun, which should be able to do some work for Sigmar. We'll see. Boris Todbringer going after Grom. Grom the Punch going to be riding into whatever he can at this point. He's just, he's a little desperate, running from this big, powerful mustache and eye patch. But, he's still healthy. But yeah, I just don't think, based on what I see here, the Greenskins have enough elements to pull this game back. It seems like Arrow is in pretty good shape, and I love that build. It's very different. Normally I use pretty elite builds with like Volkmar and sometimes a Steam Tank, but this build from Arrow Krasnik was very, very cool. Burning Head going down, it'll tickle the leadership of these units. Doesn't really do too much substantial damage. It looked like it was trying to get those Boar Boys kind of in a line right there, but at the end of the day, it didn't do too much damage. And now Grom the Punch, though he does have his buffs activated, and he's getting a ton of damage on Boris, actually. Man, Boris taking some work. And yeah, Grom, 700 weapon strength with that damn axe of his. Yeah, Grom is such a good character. But it's going to be too much. The Huntsmen are shooting him. There's Knights of the Blazing Sun everywhere. Knights of the Blazing Sun could actually do some work against Grom, considering he's weak to fire. And Toddy, man, been working out. He's got that cardio in. And Grom the Paunch is going to be broken. GG. Well played indeed. So with that, Arrow Krasnik gets Team Hag Gard back on the board. Very well played indeed. So looking here, let's take a look at Toddy first and foremost. 1,800 value on Toddy, Knights of the Blazing Sun. 1,500. Yeah, the Knights were MVPs for sure. Like, all of them got over 1,000 value. Huntsman did pretty good too, 900, 1,000. And then, the Flagellants, though, they get whooped on, they hold, and they buy time for your Knights and Bows to do their job. I like the build from Ulrich. Stone Trolls are pretty meta. Skirmishing units, it's pretty standard. It really just came down to the engagements. The Knights just got really, really brutal damage, and Toddy was able to whip out that powerful mustache and really do some work for Sigmar. So that's that. So now let us go ahead and update the team score here. Boom. And boom. So Arrow Krasnik wins the series 2-1, putting us 1 point behind the Knights of the Black Grail as we go into our third match, which is going to be Hadries facing off against Swarv. So, of course, the Dark Lord of Skaven himself. What we'll do, guys, is we can go through the previous game relatively quickly here. Let me see if I can find it. I don't even know if I still have it somewhere. Hold on. So I always delete them after I cast them just so to clear up my folder. 1 sec. So do you think Rakarth will be usable in any matchups? Marathi's pretty much always going to be better, but I think if there are some niches for Rakarth, it'll be for like Manscore sniping builds. So you can get like Rakarth on like a Scourge Runner, and then, put like, then you can buff up your Manscores with, the different buffs and get rid of the rampaging. Maybe he'll be okay on his dragon against like factions that don't have a ton of missile play, but overall I think Rakarth is like a C tier lord. Yeah. I don't think he's super good. So 1 sec here. Let me go ahead and see if I can. So do you guys want to see the yeah, let me go back here. We're going back. We're doing it. All right. So we'll get the replay from the previous game and show you guys, because unfortunately it got screwed up, right? So we'll go to downloads and we'll just like kind of fast forward through it and do a summary if that's okay. Because most of you guys here have already more or less seen most of the action in the game, but we can do kind of a fast overlook of the game and do that. So, all right, cool. So we're going to go back for a second and look at the Arrow Krasnik versus Ulrich game 2, which got a little bit screwed up, like I said. We'll get that going, and for anyone watching after the fact, we'll make a note of that so you guys can see that one in all its glory. Yeah, sometimes patches screw things up. Sometimes it's fine. It's a very weird thing for sure. All right, 1 sec. All right, looks fine, and looks fine. Where the heck did stream chat go? Ah, here we are. Hey, good evening. Good evening, my friends. All right. I'm just gonna again double check this one just so I don't waste your time. It'll only take a couple minutes. So, is there a new Lord tier list in the works? Yeah, I'll be doing stuff like that for sure. I got to get back to doing those type of analysis. It's always fun too, like speculating and all that sort of business. Tewo says, I'm playing Mortal Empires and I just realized there's a rogue Norskin lord called Mad Mullet. Dude, I know. He's my patron saint there in that game. Team Haggard? Well, Team Haggard is on the screen because that's my team. That's the team I'm on. So, yeah. I'm playing in the 2v2 right now. So basically, again, for anyone joining, what's going down is it's a 5v5 tournament. 3 players play best of 3s, and then there's a 2v2 at the very end to close things out. 2v2s are weighted a little bit heavier because they have 2 players, but, that's why. Anthony says, guys, let me do a cringy thing and ask for likes. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, do drop a like. I know it's been a little bit clunky today, but at least the first series was more or less accurate. And we should be good from here on out since we did switch to a different build. So, yes. Okay, this looks fine. Definitely looks a little bit less clunky than before. So this was game 2 between Ulrich and Arrow. I'm not showing it yet. I'll show it in just a minute. I'm just making sure it doesn't have like any weird bugginess. Like what we saw before was actually pretty accurate up to a point. I can see where it's starting to change right now. Thomas Green, if you could just DM them to me, that would be great. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. And never give up, never surrender. I had to go back to beta to finish your campaign. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of Skaven players are doing that too. Just after their brood horrors got karate chopped. Yeah. Okay. This seems fine. This seems fine. I'm glad that switch worked. I would have been very sad if it didn't. But we'll let it go a little bit further before we do it. Yeah. Thank you, Valkanos. I really appreciate your help, dude. This one should work for all the old replays, so I'll probably stay on this one for a couple days while I do the Legendary Lords tournament and all that good stuff. And we might do another stream later today. I don't know, maybe one at night or something, because these ones don't tax my hands too bad. So we're almost done with the replay. It was actually a very long battle, so but it appears to be fine. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so let's load in. Let's do it to it. Ryan, would I like Lord of the Rings Total War? Yeah, I would. 100%. Give it to me. I don't care. It's Lord of the Rings. I will take it. Okay, very cool. Let's load into this one. And let's party. So this is Aerocrastic's Tomb Kings versus the Wood Elves of Ulrich. This was game 2, the one that was a little bit buggy for us. So we're going to go back and watch it because it's still, you know, a cool lesson. There was some cool plays. And if you guys want to learn about the matchup, I think it'll be helpful. So Tihan says, actually, I was expecting Team Haggard to steamroll like the last stream. No, trust me, there's very powerful teams here. We won our 3 first matches, but, you know, there's a lot of good players in the community right now. There's a lot of really good players out there, most of which are far better than myself. But, you know, we scrap. We do our thing. Valkanos for the live tech support for sure. Big shout out. All right, guys, so this is the game from before. We obviously have Aerocrastic on the Tomb Kings with the Nekar Horsemen, Skeleton Horsemen Archers, double Screaming Skull Catapult, Chosen of the Gods as well, etc. You guys saw the build. It's good. It's got, you know, some catapults to deal with Glade Guard spam. And for Ulrich Rahl, he did indeed come in with the Glade Guard Starfire Shaft. So in total, he's got 3 of those bad boys, Eternal Guards, and yeah, double Waystalker. Waystalkers with Arrows of Kurnus can snipe a multitude of targets, and it looks like Ulrich is very much going for a sniping build, right? He's got Soul Quench, he's got double Arrow of Kurnus, and here it comes. Yeah, so he's trying to snipe the Lich Priest of Death, but that Soul Quench actually did get caught on those Nekar Horsemen right there, which is really, really unfortunate for him, actually. Now, Chosen of the Gods, just like before, shooting at the Dryads, but now it looks like all the focus fire. So the big boys here, the Screaming Skull Catapult's going to be going after the Glade Guard Starfire Shafts, and, you know, that's a good call. That's why you bring them, right? Arrows of Kurnus can snipe the Screaming Skull Catapults, but the cool thing about those Screaming Beam Catapults is, in general, they're just not that expensive, so it's not like you're losing something like a Hellblaster volley gun. It's a relatively cheap piece. And Thomas, I'll take a look as soon as this game's over, and we can use it as a screen blocker if need be. So here comes Setcher the Imperishable moving in, going after the Dryads, 69 models. Those Dryads apparently know how to live. And the Zotes are going to be diving into the back line. Now, this is a little bit precarious, because if you look back here, there's a bunch of layers of spears. It's like, you know, sending your knight into the backfield of someone's board, and there's like pawns back there waiting for you, right? Like, you might get a little bit of damage, take a piece, but then those pawns are going to move up and push you off, right? So the Zotes getting Spirit Leech. Flesh the Stone will buy them some time, but there's magic coming in, and they get very little damage there on the Chosen of the Gods. So aside from that, you know, the game is going fine for Ulrich. A nice play in the backfield. He was able to get the Lost Sylvan Knights back there, and those Lost Sylvan Knights do get in there and really, you know, disrupt the Screaming Skull Catapult. But again, kind of overextending with a couple units, right? The Zotes are wavering and terrified. Might break here. It looks like they might be able to retreat through their own spears. That's a really, really fortunate route there for Ulrich Rahl. However, the Lost Sylvan Knights, especially, like I said, with the mass changes earlier, these Lost Sylvan Knights, yeah, even 1 damage at a time. Hey, 1 damage is 1 damage, man. And that really, really does add up here. So now Setcher is coming in. There's going to be Spirit Leeches, and I really don't see an efficient escape route here for these Lost Sylvan Knights. Now in the backfield, Arrow going to be coming in with the Skeleton Horseman Archers, looking to move into the Glade Guard Starfire Shafts. He's certainly thinking about tickling the pickle. We'll see. Yeah, but there are some spears back here, and Ulrich does react pretty well. Despite all the action that's going on over here, he is able to get some spears in front of them and do a partial block, so his archers aren't going to get shreked as badly. But during all this, it looks like he has been using Apotheosis on Lost Sylvan Knights, even though the Lost Sylvan Knights are a lost cause, and those guys are going to be getting broken down and chased off by probably something much cheaper. So that's a 2,000 gold loss. However, Settra is very low. The Spellweaver of High Magic has pretty much been sitting on Settra the entire game with Soul Quenches, and the 2 Waystalkers have just been shooting Settra the entire game. So though those Wood Elf forces have taken a beating in many regards, they've also almost sniped a very, very expensive lord. Settra is not cheap. Settra's a high-end boy, and he costs quite a bit here. Now, the bird does land. The spell Weaver of High Magic is being attacked by Settra the Imperishable. I'm surprised Settra didn't stay the course and just keep beating on that bird. Certainly could have. However, maybe wanting to get out of range of the Waystalkers or something, I'm not sure, but it looked like that might have been some free real estate to get 1 or 2 more attacks. Dying Sun, the reason why we're watching this replay back is because we didn't finish it before, and we were on a different version of the game, and the ending was bugged. So some people wanted to see, and there's a lot of new people on the stream anyway, so. Anyways, right here, Spellweaver of High Magic going to be coming on over, pulling back, maybe looking to get some Soul Quenches and or secure the back line, but there has been a new Shopti summon in the back line by Aerocrastic, and the Shopti summon will chop through these infantry pretty well. And yeah, the Skeleton Horseman Archer is really causing a lot of distress here in the backfield for the Wood Elves. Now, this is also another thing that's going very well for Aerocrastic and the Tomb Kings, is he does have his Ushopti Great Bows online, 8 of them, which is a lot. He has his Screaming Skull Catapults online, but it looks like the Lost Sylvan Knights are coming into the backfield, and they're going to be moving in after the Screaming Beam Catapult. But oh, look at the catapult from across town. Might actually break them. Oh, they're at 1 leadership. They get in, and they might be able to do something here, but I think they're just too low. 14 leadership. I mean, a stiff breeze will knock them off, but I mean, if they sit there and just kill that catapult crew, that'd be really good. So Settra, last time we didn't see Settra die, right? And this time it looks like Settra might be on his way out. He does have the Blessed Blade of Atra. We'll see what kind of damage he can do against the Spellweaver here. And oh, the Arrow of Kernus from downtown, finishing him off. But nonetheless, despite that happening, Tomb King still appear to be in a commanding position. The Catapult no longer stealth this time, and the Chosen of the Gods Ushopti Great Bows are now ripping shots into the Spellweaver of High Magic. So yeah, nice jukes there by Ulrich. He's going back and forth. Clearly he is a seasoned tournament player who knows his tricks. Now, if we look at what the Wood Elves have left, it's mostly Eternal Guard. We do have double Waystalker here, but Waystalkers are going to get drowned in these undead bodies most likely. I just don't see a lot the Wood Elves have. Although, if this Spellweaver could, Cycle Charge and Goon the Lich Priest, and maybe Cycle Charge and Goon the Chosen of the Gods, that could be very strong. But there is going to be a Spirit Leech going down. Screaming Skull Catapults. Oh my god, the Lost Sylvan Knights have like 4 models and like 200 HP, and they're still charging back, just straight up getting Last Samurai as they come in, but this is actually big. If these Lost Sylvan Knights are able to, hammer the Ushopti here, that could be a big play for sure. Here it comes, and 1 and a 2, and they finish off a Screaming Skull Catapult. That really isn't bad, considering their leadership and their current situation. The other Catapult continuing to bombard the Eternal Guard here, and the Waystalkers are getting kind of pinned down. So we'll do a little bit of fast forwarding, as it's a lot of skeleton bump and grind, and we've more or less seen the outcome of this game here. With Skeleton Spearmen moving up to fight the Eternal Guard, the Catapult honestly could be the clincher, or the Ushopti Chosen of the Gods here. In the backfield, Ulrich Rahl does come in with the bird. The bird does land. It goes after the Lich Priest, and the Lich Priest is taken out by the Spellweaver of High Magic. But the entire time that's happening, the Chosen of the Gods Ushopti are able to get a fair amount of DPS into that target, while the Nekar Horsemen and Skeleton Horseman Archers continue to dominate in those frontline engagements. And the other Waystalker, a big power piece in the Bounce of Power, is being dragged down by a bunch of just chaff units and whatnot, right? The other Waystalker is broken, and the bird is flying up in the air, while the undead infantry just continue to grind and accrue even more and more value. Other Waystalker, being attacked by Nekar Horsemen, it looks like the Spellweaver of High Magic does get an Apotheosis, which actually pulls the Bounce of Power back, man. Yeah, look at that. The Catapult not hidden this time around, but the Bounce of Power going back into the favor of Ulrich Rahl. Of course, we already know the outcome, but still quite a curious situation here, as this bird does fly back and forth. Eternal Guard broken down by Skeleton Spearmen. It's mainly just a fatigue and leadership thing at this point. Chosen of the Gods break down the Waystalkers, and the Catapult's out of ammo, Skeleton Horsemen, but there's so many undead left on the battlefield. Although the Waystalker's actually stable with some Eternal Guard here. This game was actually very, very close and contested. I'm glad we went back to check this bad boy out. Hey, Valkanos, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Here comes the Skeleton Horsemen, hammering into the back of the Eternal Guard, though they have very good base leadership for their price point. Being charged in the back by any sort of cavalry is going to be relatively, punishing. And I simply don't think anything could really deal with the amount of spears. There's still a shit ton of skeleton spears here, and if this Waystalker gets broken too, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Ulrich Rahl obviously trying to fight with his spears, because if all he has left are single entities, he's going to have to fight that spear grind. And now you can see that happening, right? He's trying to find the engagements, trying to rally his units, going after the horsemen here. And the dreaded Screaming Skull catapult crew on the other side of the map appears to be on vacation or something. Not quite sure what's going down there, but let's see if they can do it, man. Skeleton Spearmen shatter that guy, and now the bird is in a little bit of trouble. Great Eagles are quite terrible in this type of combat, and now Ulrich has to stay in combat. He has nothing left. So the Great Eagle is broken, and Aerocrastic, at that point, pulls the victory. GG, well played. GG, well played indeed. Valkanos, the savior of the stream. He has done it. So let's look at the actual value this time. Cetra got served that game. This build is pretty cool by Ulrich, like really heavy in the sniping. Soul Quench, because if there had been like a casket too, the Soul Quench plus the double volleys of or arrows of Kurnus, and a couple little overextensions on the elite units, but man, he almost pulled that game out. It was a close proper scrap, man. Dark Elf summed up, Marathi is just better. Yeah, more or less. Malekith is better than Rakarth too. Rakarth is better than Malice as well as Lokir in my opinion though. So yeah, the team score is currently reflecting that. So this is the current score right now. Aerocrastic won 2 games against 1. Ulrich Rahl. So Ulrich got 1 point for his team. Aerocrastic got 2 for Team Haggard. And then Viking won 2-0. So basically 2 plus 1 from Ulrich, and then 2 with no additional. So currently the score in this team tournament is 2-3. There you have it. All right, let's load into the next matches. Get back on the horse. All right. Thanks again, guys, for hanging out today despite some technical issues. We're having a good old time. Good old jolly time. We are indeed. So now we have Hadries against Swarv. Hadries, of course, our resident Skaven player here. Yes, you know, Screaming Meme catapults aren't actually bad. They used to be. They got some changes, and you know they're in an okay place now. They are in an okay place. It is weird. It is weird to see units that used to be complete memes like actually doing very well, though. It's a very, very strange phenomenon. So this first game is going to be Hadries against Swarv. And Hadries is going to be on Skaven against Vampire Counts. We've seen that a couple times today. Some Skaven players don't mind playing Counts. Personally, I feel like it's a really hard counter for Skaven. Not really hard, but slightly Count favored. And yeah, it's tricky, man. It's tricky. All right, guys, so if we look at the Skaven army, Hadries coming in with Deathmaster Snickich, his signature character, as well as an assassin. And aside from that, he's got Skaven slaves, he's got some Clan Rat spears, Poison Wind globes, double Jezzail with warp grinders, and rat ogres, including the ROR pit fighters, because they're immune to psychology. They can really fend off the undead quite well. And we have a Plague Priest. Plague Priest, of course, you know, it's great. Summons things, plague breaths, all that sort of fun stuff. So Team Haggard is currently down a point. We certainly need some wins here from Hadries. Otherwise, it will be all dependent on the 2v2. And in the 2v2, like I said, it's me and King of the Dead facing off against Fistek and Evenstar, 2 ever-chosen players, including an ever-chosen champion. So we need some points here, guys. We need some points. So for the forces of Swarv, he's got Black Knights with Vargulf. We do also have a White King and Heinrich Kemmler cackling in the distance. A very aggressive play from Deathmaster as well as the Assassin. They're actually going to be going in trying to get some free shanks on the Vargulf, but Swarv does react pretty quickly to that situation and pulls back. And Hadries, now knowing that the Deathmaster has been caught in the open, is going to be retreating back towards his main army. Over here on this far side, Black Knights as well as the Direwolves going to be circling around the back of this Skaven army, and it is time for a Royal Rumble. Now, as far as the Jezzails go, they've gotten some good work in. Black Knights took some heavy damage, Heinrich Kemmler's getting sniped a little bit, but all it takes is like a zombie summon or two, and you can really, really shut those things down and potentially break them. And if they break, it's going to be very tricky to get them back. Hey, Bane. Hey there, Turin. Catching the live stream after a while. Just wanted to say cheers. Cheers right back at you, man. Hope you're doing well. And let's have some fun this stream. Now, man, Hadries is being super aggressive with Deathmaster. Look at this. Deathmaster plus the Assassin getting in there, and it looks like might be able to get some serious DPS on the White King, but there is a Vampire Gorilla coming in. The Skaven characters, oh, that was such a Skaven thing. Look at that. Deathmaster plus the Assassin might be able to get away without taking any damage. No, Deathmaster gets slapped by the Gorilla. Jezzails are providing cover fire. Let us go ahead and see if Deathmaster can get away. Oh no, the rat has been caught. It's in the trap. The Vargulf and the White Kings laying a bit of a whooping on Deathmaster. So suddenly that whole kind of gambit of going in there, going after those characters could be a little bit problematic. Now in the backfield, some very aggressive play here. We can see the Direwolves have moved in against the backline of the Skaven. Skaven Slave Slingers get busted up, but Rat Ogres are here to intercept and should be able to protect the Skaven line. This is one of the hardest things about this matchup, is protecting your gun line against, you know, Vampire Counts diving. It's very, very tough for sure. Now, Deathmaster, did he get away? It looks like he did. He took minimal damage, so in the end, I don't think that was that bad. Oh my god, a Winds of Death attempt going in from Heinrich. It does miss horribly, goes into some Skaven slaves on the far side, but yeah, that was a really, really nice dodge by Hadrius. A great presence of mind. He's defending this side, defending so much, and he's still able to dodge that Winds of Death. Now right here, the Warp Grinder going down. It does grind down the Dire Pack as well as these Black Knights, zombie summons shutting them down. And honestly, though, a lot of the gun line for Hadrius is offline. Warplock Jezzails are offline. The Poison Wind Globes are compromised. These Jezzails are compromised. It's looking pretty tough. It's rapidly looking like one of those situations where Deathmaster is going to have to carry the game. And, you know, right here, he's got a good situation, right? The Assassin is fighting the White King here. Deathmaster is fighting the other White King. If the Skaven could kill both of these characters right here, I think that would be certainly something on the path back to getting them in the game. Because otherwise, they're going to be in some serious trouble. So yeah, one White King is down. The Skaven Assassin character is really doing some excellent work, but all these Skaven weapons teams are being chased down by Swarv's forces. Dire Wolves going after the Rat Ogres. Here, the Black Knights, of course, are in pursuit as well. And yeah, the Pit Fighters of Helm's Deep here are going to be going down most likely. Even though they are good against Black Knights, there's just a lot of undead here, including Crypt Ghouls, right? And where's Krell? We haven't seen Krell yet. I think he's holding Krell in the back pocket. But the Skaven are able to take out those characters. The other White King here, the Assassin's Trophy and Rival High Talisman is active, and I think it might go down. It's hard to say if he'll be able to kind of keep pursuit here. Nope. Looks like Deathmaster is not quite able to stay on him. Oh, he's back in it again. Heinrich Kemmler thinking about getting in there, but he's got to be careful. If a Warp Grinder goes down, for example, the Warp Grinder is still here. Nope, it gets terror-routed. Oh, Krell's coming with the steel chair, baby. He's got that giant axe. It's time for business. He's going after Deathmaster. I love the way he runs with it. He's like, come here, you damn rat. He's hunting them down pretty good. But the Assassin squad of Hadrius is doing very well. But Swarv, on that note, I would say probably in a slightly more dominant position, considering he has taken out multiple Jezzails and Globadiers. Now, if Swarv does make the mistake of not chasing down these Jezzails here and they start shooting again, that could be a way that Hadrius could kind of reassert himself in a relatively dominant position in this game. Now right here, we got an Assassin plus Deathmaster, once again embroiled in combat, but there are Crypt Ghouls now. Crypt Ghouls are very sticky. They also, cause poison, so the elite Skaven characters doing some anime backflips right here are going to be poisoned. But man, he actually might have led that White King to some crumbling right here. 4 leadership, just barely stabilizing, but Krell is a problem. Krell does cause terror. Could potentially do some big damage too with his 470 weapon strength. Yeah, I think the best hope for the Skaven here is probably just going to be bunkering up on the Plague Furnace. We'll see. Obviously, sitting on top of the furnace means that any chaff units that come by, like Crypt Ghouls, will, of course, take some damage. And look at this. Is Hadrius going to be able to get it? Deathmaster getting punted over by his own furnace, or maybe the furnace knocked over the Vargulf, which then decided to play a little bit of bowling here. It's hard to say. So Deathmaster going after the Vampire Gorilla, 2,800 HP. Its leadership is at 12. And, ooh, it gets shanked real good. Negative 23. Man, those Assassins from the Skaven are doing so much work. You also have to remember that Krell is going to be disappearing soon. And will Deathmaster be able to finish this bad boy off? It looks like there's some Rat Ogres coming in. It is crumbling, but the problem with Vargulfs is they heal more or less as fast as they crumble. They crumble a little bit faster, but it's not that big of a deal on them. So a little bit hard to say. Vargulf here at -2 leadership. It does get knocked over, and the Assassins jump in. Neither of them make contact, though, on the initial push. And the Vargulf's still going to be trying to get away. So balance of power is still a little bit Vampire Count favored. All the weapons teams, like I said, more or less offline. There are some clan rats on the edge of the battlefield, which would be quite helpful right now, but they're going to be killed by Crypt Ghouls very, very easily. And if we are back here, you can see the Assassin and Deathmaster Snickich just kind of Tokyo drifting around, trying to avoid Krell. Krell has an unusually long duration, which I think is good. I think it kind of fits Krell, and it's a cool thing to have Heinrich Kemmler have, which makes him, a decent choice, right? Whereas like the other Vampire Lords would just objectively be better if Krell was just like a short, crappy summon. But Mortis Engine's still going, and a lot of the Vampire single entities are in a little bit of trouble. Vargulf here is beat up. I think there was a Black Coach somewhere as well that I've been kind of missing this game. Yeah, look at this. Black Knights on the far side, chasing down Skaven slaves. And yeah, this Black Coach. It's low, but Swarv is going to have to make some big mistakes to lose this game. Like, some big mistakes, right? So here comes Krell. He's still going, man. Holy shit, his duration is so long. Trying to get on that Plague Furnace, but he's going to disappear. Watch the balance of power. It doesn't get affected that much when he disappears. Just showing that the Skaven, are probably in a little bit of trouble here. Warp Grinder about to be attacked. We'll see if it's going to be able to get some magic off before it goes. 6 leadership, -2. It looks like those bad boys will break. Obviously, they're not happy at all about being feasted on by a bunch of angry golems here. And the Vampire Gorilla is going to be... Oh, it just slapped that rat's head off. That's lovely. And back here, you can see the Plague Breath going down. Nice cast there by Hadrius. Hadrius does have a decent little Death Star with the Pit Fighters, I believe. Or no, they're just basic Rat Ogres, so they could potentially just get terror-routed off. Had those been the... Yeah, I agree with you. I actually think that Heinrich Kemmler, Krell could have been a legendary hero that you can only pick if you bring Heinrich Kemmler. I think that would have been way more cool. But, you know, it is what it is. I think it's fine. So, Deathmaster fighting in the pits now. Mortis Engine might be able to bring this game back. You can see it's kind of tilting it, and there was a nice little rat summon right there. The Black Knights are on their way to crumbling at negative 55 leadership, and there are some more Black Knights on the real far side of the battlefield, but a lot of it's going to come down to Deathmaster and the Assassin. Can they get those good engagements? Another nice Plague Breath there by Hadri's, clears out some zombies. Heinrich Kemmler getting a little bit ballsy here. He dives in, he pops the Undeath Resurgent, but the Deathmaster Sigil is active, but it looks like, is he able to get back here? Yeah, Deathmaster does get back here. Heinrich Kemmler probably will get shanked a little bit. Does he have the Cloak of Mist and Shadows? I do not think so, but Undeath Resurgent does put him up to a respectable amount of melee defense. Despite the Assassin's Trophy, now we got a very nasty fight on our hands, and the Clan Rat Summon is out of the picture, and the Skaven Assassin characters continuing to try and shank Heinrich Kemmler. Oh, the Whirl of Blades going down. It's such a cool looking ability, but I think he got like knocked over while he was doing it. A little bit hard to tell. You know, the vampires are going to run out of chaff. And I wonder, does Hadri's have any summons in the back pocket? That could actually do it. Yeah, but Skaven leadership's also a huge problem. I mean, Deathmaster's shaken, and the ghouls are going to get in there now. But if you can Mortis Engine down the ghouls, nice little breath attack there by Hadri's as the two assassins leap in there. Deathmaster plus the assassins have such cool attack animations. Let's go ahead and watch a couple of them. Come on, give us a cool one. Okay, that was just the lazy one. He's like, I'm just going to swing my arm a little bit and, you know, take those guys down. Mortis Engine, though, getting there. Crypt ghouls are going to be approaching negative leadership here as they are rammed by the chariot. The Assassin going after the Vargulf here in the back, but a really nice invocation there by Swarv is able to keep that bad boy going. Yeah, Mortis Engine's down. Heinrich Kemmler coming in and cackling like an evil necromancer, and that is going to be it. Very GG. Awesome game. That was a really fun one to watch. But with that, guys, Swarv does pull another win for the Knights of the Black Grail, and, you know, Team Gard is on the ropes. They're on the ropes, man. So let's look at value. Heinrich Kemmler cackling all the way to the blood bank. 300, of course, doesn't really matter. He always gets low value. It's from Krell. Who was the real MVP here? Honestly, yeah. Like, just all the weapons teams being routed off was the big factor. Crypt ghouls are obviously always awesome in that matchup, so. Deathmaster 1900, Assassin 1700. Like, look at this. Yeah, Jezzail's got, like, all sub 500. The Globe's got 400. Like, the weapon teams did nothing. But the Skaven Assassins and the Plague Furnace almost carried that game. They almost brought it back. Yeah. It was a real scrappy one. It was. It was indeed. So now let us update these scores. We progress to the next match. Currently, guys, Knights of the Black Grail are up 4-2. We're in some trouble, man. It could come down to the 2v2s. And if it does, those are some grim omens indeed. But hey, you guys are here. Some 2v2s are going to be going down. And I know, Jonathan, it's almost over, man. The nightmare is almost over for sure. All right, so let me prepare the next replay here. Game 2. Between Hadri's and Swarv. If Swarv wins, he will close out the series 2-0, and that pretty much means that we would have to win the 2v2s, like both of them, if we lose even a single one, and that's a tall order against Fistek and Evenstar, so I don't know, guys, we're in some trouble. So game 2 is going to be Hadri's on Tomb Kings against Swarv on Greenskins. Okay, it's a fun matchup. It's a fun matchup indeed. Hold on, guys, just checking my email real quick. Everything looks fine. No drama. Tomb Kings versus Greenskins. Did we see this matchup earlier? No, we saw Tomb Kings versus Wood Elves. Could have sworn we saw this one earlier. I'm not sure. I don't know if you covered this yet, but I'd be interested to get your scoop on the Move Odyssey. Hope the Move Odyssey? The Move Odyssey. I'm not sure what you mean, Pickled Buddha. Are you talking about, like, Troy? All right. Anyways, let me know, brother. So we're loading in the next game. It's going to be Hadri's on the Tomb Kings. He's certainly on the ropes here. If Swarv wins this, the series is over, and then we basically have to win both 2v2s to tie them, and then there would be a tiebreaker. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Should be fun. Every player has a best of 3, and then there's a 2v2 best of 3 at the very end. So for Hadri's, he's got Skeleton Warriors in the front, Screaming Beam Catapult, Skeleton Spearmen in the flanks here. And over here in the bushes, I feel like we've seen this replay before. This, like, something about this seems so familiar. Such are the Imperishable. I guess I've probably seen it before, so. Yeah. My moving situation. Oh, yes. Yeah, I talked about it on the stream a little bit. I'll give you guys an update towards the end. But here we have the Sphinx of Usef. We got Necrotex here and a Tomb Prince, as well as Cetra on a Chariot. Very, very cool build there from Hadri's. And I thought you were talking about the book, The Odyssey. I was like, oh, yes, Homer. I read that in high school. No, but yeah, it's been a journey, man. But we're back. We're here. We're doing it. So for Swarv, Swarv coming in with a bunch of Orc Biggins. So Orc Biggins, of course, pretty good at buzzsawing through skeleton chaff and also decent against large things like Ushaptis and Scorpions. He's got basic trolls, not going for stone trolls. We have Skarsnik, we have Orc Shaman, as well as, what the hell is this? A wild pump wagon has appeared. I haven't seen a pump wagon in a long ass time. Nonetheless, Snotling pump wagons are moving forward. Pickled Buddha, don't worry, brother. I'll give you an update towards the end. It's been a nightmare. But, you know, things are on the up and up now. So here are the Depths Creepers circling around the flank. Hadri's in a very defensive posture. One thing about Hadri's to note is that a lot of his value is down here, whereas some of his army here, I mean, this is a very small portion of his force. This is probably easily, in terms of funds, 50 or probably 60, 70% of his army. So there is a chance that if he doesn't really collapse this flank in an efficient manner, that most of his army could be overwhelmed, right? Pump wagons plus trolls plus biggins just kind of beating on basic skeletons is going to be a very one-sided affair. But knowing that, I think Hadri's is going to be going in very aggressively. The Sphinx of Usef going to be going after the trolls, which it will massacre them. It does fire damage. It has anti-large. Those trolls will get clubbed super, super hard. Setra going to be going into the chariot, and his chariot will do very well against Savage Orc, so he is rolling dirty on these bad boys. And you can see, yeah, man, getting some work. Let's see what kind of damage they took. They're down to 76 models. Yeah, Setra should be able to clean out these Savage Orcs by himself, no problem. Now, Screaming Skull catapults continue to go into the Orc Biggins, which are a very, very good target. But the Greenskins are very well positioned to surround this army, right? And they're going to be hitting this front line very, very hard. Savage Orcs getting busted down. Pump Wagons, for some reason, deciding to come and help. Granted, Pump Wagons, they'll do okay against, King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, but they're not going to be wanting to fight Setra and all that sort of good stuff. Goblins are occupying the Sphinx, which is good. Also, the Necrotech is a little bit distracted here. And now the main Tomb King's army is really going to take a beating. And I think my worst fears may be coming to fruition here as my glorious teammate Hadri's. His front line here is really just getting hammered incredibly hard, which means that the catapult will go down and these skeletons really, are buying time for some loose engagements over here, but I guess it's not bad. Pump Wagon's down. Savage Orcs are really taking a beating. Oh, this is a big mistake here by Swarv. So Swarv should have kept Skarsnik over here with his main force where he's accruing a ton of value and losing very little here, but he sent in ya boy Skarsnik against a chariot character, a Tomb Prince, and all sorts of scary stuff. And yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a precarious situation as Setra, with Cursed Blades especially, will be able to ram Skarsnik very, very efficiently since he is an infantry-sized character despite having Goblet. Hey, Zyphos, thank you for the 50, man. Hey, Torino, here are some elf tokens to show my appreciation for your work and to help you in those dire times. I hope you find yourself a nice new home very soon. Hey, man, we're back in our old place. We'll survive it. Thank you so much, Zyphos. That is super generous, and looking forward to seeing you in future tournaments, man, including a faction war coming up. So Setra the Imperishable, man, still getting some work in, running over that Orc Shaman. The Tomb Prince is here, providing Guardian as well, so Setra is even tankier at this point. And picking off these Greenskin characters, I think, is going to be essential because, like I said, the Greenskins have completely crumped this front line. Like, the Catapult's going down, the Spearman going down. There's the new Shopti summon here, which is like the only thing holding back the Green Tide. So character sniping is going to be essential here. So here comes Setra once again, rolling into Skarsnik, and your boy Skarsnik does have Here We Go, which is going to give him a nice little anti-large. And now trolls are moving in, so this is looking a little bit scary for Hadri's, to say the least, as now the rest of the Greenskin army is going to be coming in fully erect, having had a glorious Wa over here in the backfield against those Skeleton Spearmen and those other assets. So here it is, man. Skarsnik, get back here. He's keeping his leadership firm. Tomb Prince, of course, getting in there doing some work. And it looks like the Carrion are being used as a pinning mechanism to try and keep Skarsnik in place, which might work. And Setra, Setra plus the Sphinx. All right, so the Sphinx could kill the trolls. And if Setra and the other chariot characters are kept intact, there is a chance that they could clear pretty much an infinite amount of Greenskin infantry. So the Ushapti summon is also here, which is buying some time. It's keeping the trolls and the Orc boys and those other units at bay. And in the meantime, the big Sphinx is getting some nice terror routes. Those trolls are terror routed and broken. Snotling Pump Wagon is broken back as well. And we'll see. Will Setra be able to get Skarsnik? The trolls are coming to make him pay the troll toll. Danny DeVito is all up in this hoe. And we'll see if Skarsnik goes down. He's broken. 1,100 HP right now and 9 leadership, getting very, very low as he's escorted off the battlefield by Setra. This is always one of my favorite things when a chariot just rolls someone off the battlefield. Zyphos, man, thank you again so much. Hope you're doing well. And Dujaf's Cursed Blades putting up the 588. That's the thing about Chariot Setra. A lot of people forget that he's actually a pretty powerful duelist, even against, non-infantry characters. So you could send him in against a big monster with Cursed Blades and Blade of Patra and Foz Protection, and he can really, really do some big work. Now, back into the epicenter of combat. The Necrotect and the Sphinx are fighting, but they are being swarmed by trolls and Orc boys and all sorts of nasty stuff. Skarsnik has got to be low, 300 HP, and is he going to stay on him? I feel like Setra has to finish him, because if he comes back and is able to get like a rampage or something, that could actually be a relatively big deciding factor as this battle does move forward here. So Settra the Imperishable, 79 HP on Skarsnik. Will him and Goblo be sent to the Age of Sigmar? Yes, they are. Down goes Skarsnik, and the pump wagons just dramatically dying behind Settra as the chariot duel is underway, the most epic chariot duel of all time. But how is the Sphinx doing? Obviously, big anti-large monsters do not like to be surrounded here. That is for sure. And the Sphinx, yeah, I mean, it's doing okay. It does have the buffs from the Necrotech, so there's probably restores. Yeah, restore giving it 1,000 HP, but my concern is that though the Greenskins have a big, ugly surround, a single rear charge from Settra in the late game is going to literally buckle all these Orc boys who are already very vulnerable to the terror route, right? Danny DeVito, yes. So that is a reference to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's an episode where Danny DeVito dresses up like a troll, and he basically says you got to pay the troll toll to, you know, do your thing, and yeah, that's the reference. Look at the mass exodus from the Greenskins. Oh my god, Orc boys and trolls are just running for the hills. And the Tomb Prince, of course, getting false protection with his 70 armor, pretty durable, although there are big uns here, but I think when Settra comes in and just goes balls deep, like, look at this. This is so juicy. Oh, God. These big uns are going to get wrecked. Settra coming in on the Chariot of the Gods. Oh, yeah. Such a cool chariot. And he probably has the Wrath of Patral as well, so I would imagine, yep, there it is. That's going to do a bunch of damage, and you can see the Greenskins, as soon as Settra rolls in, a mass exodus. Those guys are running to the hills. They're going back to the mountains, and that is going to be GG. Hadri's claiming victory, getting Team Gard back on the board. Wesley Chartrand. Hey, Turin. I hope this helps. It does, man. Thank you so much. Can't catch this stream, but I'll catch up later while I paint your Stegodons. Hey, man. Wesley, good luck painting your glorious Lizardman force, and thank you for the donation. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, there was a long troubleshooting break. You didn't miss much. Yeah, we had some issues, but it's okay. We're getting there. I'm getting back in my groove. So, Settra, man, 3,200 value on Settra. 33 actually. 1,000 here, 600 here. The Sphinx got 1,200. Settra carried that game, man. He killed Skarsnik. He nuked that blob. It was a thing of beauty. And you know what? I actually thought Hadri's was in a lot of trouble because so much of his force just got crumped and gave almost no fight back. But Settra was able to carry that game. And very odd choice of pump wagons. I never see them do well. And against Tomb Kings, it seems really curious because of Nekar Horsemen and a lot of mass. So I don't really see the pump wagon pick here, but the basic trolls and biggins, like everything else was fine. Just the pump wagons, I think, were a little bit weird. How's it going, Survivor Clone? Settra ruled, man. He ruled. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. All right, guys, we're down a point in this very contested match against the Knights of the Black Grail. Let us go ahead and get that next game going. Let's not mess around anymore. Let's go hard. Yeah, Settra carried that game. Super, super hard, guys. All right. Hadri's on the Tomb Kings and Swarv. Greenskins, we casted that one. So this is going to be Hadri's on the Wood Elves facing off against Swarv on Chaos. Okay. So yeah, to answer your question, I'll summarize this again real quick. We tried to move to a city that was relatively far away because it's a beach town and we both love it. We moved into a house that had a hidden mold infestation, basically. We had to move out. They gave us our rent and deposit back, but we were out the moving expenses. And yeah, and then we basically just kind of got dicked there, and we had to stay in hotels for about a week, and then we came back to LA. So that's more or less it. But I mean, honestly, we're going to be fine, guys. You guys have been so supportive. Thank you so much. But that's more or less there's a lot of details in there and like funny stuff. Maybe I'll tell you guys on a more casual stream, but today we're focusing on this, and we're doing it, man. So Hadri's is here with his Wood Elves facing off against Swarv and the Warriors of Chaos. This is certainly a very important game. So here's the thing. If Hadri's wins this one, he ties it up. We'll be 4-4 with them. If he loses it, they'll be up 5-3, and then that puts a lot of pressure on the 2v2 games. So we'll see how this goes. Kenny says, Cześć from Poland. I keep watching your streams for a long time. Hey, dziękuję bardzo, my friend. I hope you're doing well over there. And yeah, we'll probably be doing some visit to Poland as soon as it's, good to do. Yeah, I'm really excited. So, all right, guys, here it is. Thank you again, Kenny. Dziękuję bardzo za donation. I hope you're eating some glorious chleb and kielbasa over there in Poland, and some pasztet and some bigos, all the glorious stuff that beautiful country has to offer. And here we are. So for Hadri's and the Wood Elves, it's going to be a massive kiting build. He's got the Lost Sylvan Knights and a bunch of Glade Riders, a massive amount of Glade Riders with bows as well. A Spellsinger of Life up in the sky, a Sisters of Twilight. In the back, he's got Treekin and Spears. And immediately, Hadrius gets a very, very good start here, right? He is able to jump in and shut down those Chaos Warhounds with poison. Granted, there are more Warhounds coming in, but I think the Glade Riders should trade okay, considering there is support nearby. Now for Swarv, it's a very wide build. Marauders with Mirror Guard, he's got Sigvald. We do also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Death and Summoners of Rage. So yeah, it's just a wide Chaos build, not giving too many good targets, and that appears to be it as far as these schemes go. Oh, look at this. We have some Chaos Knights with Lances, too. So the Chaos Knights coming in to try and force off the Glade Riders. Glade Riders, of course, have 94 speed against the 66 of Chaos Knights. They're a very slow, big Chungus-type Knight unit. However, Glade Riders are looking to take this engagement against Chaos Knights. That's a very bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how those half-naked Elves work out against this heavy metal Chaos Force. And yeah, you can see the Chaos guys really, really hammering them down. Now, as far as the rest of the engagements go, Hadrius on the far side getting some freebies, using his Lost Sylvan Knights to just pick on the Marauders and those other basic infantry units. And it looks like an Awakening of the Wood going down on the Mirror Guard, maybe to try and slow them down while the Spellsinger of Life moves in to get the Hound. So many of the Hound units have been shut down for now, but the Chaos Knights getting a couple of very nice picks right here. You can see they're moving in, going after the Glade Riders with spears, and buttering some serious bread for sure. Up at the Sky, Sisters of Twilight still ripping their shots. They, of course, have very good armor piercing and armor sundering on their missiles, so they are able to soften up the armor of these Chaos Knights a little bit. Granted, the 90 armor is, it's still substantial, right? So Ice Power, this is a 5v5 team tournament. It's been going on for a while, and unfortunately, due to my ineptitude of having a successful move, I did delay the tournament a little bit because they were waiting for me. But it's a 5v5 tournament, so 5 players per team, 3 best of 3s, and a best of 3 2v2 with the remaining players. So this is us facing off against the Knights of the Black Grail. So I'll give you guys the team rosters after this game. So the Treekin moving in, and the Mirror Guard as well. Treekin will endure that for quite some time. Hadrius with his missiles, still pretty good in the ammunition department, and I would say that Hadrius probably a little bit ahead on the bounce of power. He has done very well shutting down the mobile elements of the Chaos Army and the Hounds and different things like that, but now this is where Chaos can really shine. They got Sigvald in combat, they are going to be able to kill these Eternal Guard. The Lost Sylvan Knights getting a Faded Buna, but a nice regrowth actually. Overcasted regrowth and Faded Buna, pretty similar in terms of Winds of Magic range. I think Buna is a little bit pricier, but even still, not a bad situation. But a lot of the Glade Rider ammunition, something else to note is that the Glade Riders are still shooting into Marauders, which is really unfortunate. Probably should take them off fire at will and make sure they're using their ammunition only on efficient targets, whether that be Summoners of Rage or Marauder Horsemen. Chaos Knights aren't a great target either, but still are better than Marauders, because yeah, shooting into Marauders really, you're basically going to be losing balance of power here. So the Glade Riders do engage against some of the Chaos Knights. It looks like Lost Sylvan Knights are trying to disengage and get the Chaos Knights while they are close to the edge of the battlefield here. And the Sisters of Twilight also moving in. What's cool about them is they can also shoot their armor-piercing shots in melee, but now Chaos is going to be layering on even more. Swarv is pulling out Summoners of Rage, which are basically a hard counter against the Lost Sylvan Knights because they do magic damage and anti-large, which means they're going to be able to kill the Lost Sylvan Knights relatively effectively. So we'll see how that all unfolds. Chain Lightning going down here from the Summoners of Rage. Hadrius still has a lot of Glade Riders, which even if they are out of ammo, they can still rear charge into like shitty Marauders that are like occupied with your birds and generally do relatively good for you. But yeah, it's an even battle. I mean, I would say nobody's in a clear dominant state. I think in the beginning, Hadrius was able to get some nice picks, but ammunition is starting to run low, and Sigvald is still here. Sigvald is a character that if you don't have like a proper tool to deal with him, whether like a Durthu or, you know, I don't know, anyone like that, really, something that just hits hard and has good AP and good staying power, like you might just lose to Sigvald. It's a very, very stressful character to face off against in situations like this, at least. Not always, because he's not like someone that, you know, stresses you out early. You're like, oh shit, Sigvald's coming with like a Gal Maraz popped, he's going to nuke my character. He's like that slow, creeping presence that really just makes you pay the troll toll over the course of a long fight, right? Now, Spellsinger staying in combat a little bit too long against the Dark Prince. Sigvald is going to be able to take down this bird and really, really punish it quite badly. So there it goes. The Spellsinger of Life pulling back, and up in the sky, the Sisters of Twilight here on the bird are sitting quite happily, and I guess they're just going to start working on your boy Sigvald, because I don't think Hadrius will have a problem breaking the rest of the Marauders. He does also have the Lost Sylvan Knights, which is really strong because that's a terror route. Great Eagles cause fear, they do not cause terror, so having those Lost Sylvan Knights in your back pocket to terror out the rest of these forces is going to be very useful. And yeah, going in for a snipe, going after the Spellsinger, and again, this is the weakness of Sigvald, is that he is a foot character, so he's going to have a little bit of trouble keeping up with proper cycle charging, so Hadrius gets some okay damage in there. It looks like the Chaos Sorcerer did hold, and that's one of my favorite things about Chaos in general, is that even their casters are spiky and armored, right? Like the Chaos Sorcerer has 100 armor, so he's not going to take that shit from you know, the Eagles, like for example an Empire caster, right? Like if that were like a Jade Wizard or an Amber Wizard, they would have been probably chunked down to the point of almost breaking there. Hey Weaver, thank you so much for the $50. After hearing about your situation, thought I'd throw some money your way. Thanks for still putting out the content. Glass of scotch to the Haggard King Turin. Long may he cast. I will, man. I'm not going anywhere. If I have to cast in a cardboard box on the street for you guys, I will, because I enjoy doing it and I enjoy spending time with you all. So thank you so much, man. Weaver, that's 2 huge donations today, and man, this is a really, really heated game. I mean, Balance of Power is actually Chaos favored. Sigvald seems to kind of maybe be pulling this one. And here the Glade Riders charging into the Marauders, getting some good value, and the Lost Sylvan Knights should be able to get some terror routes. Mirror Guard are very low at this point, but the Mirror Guard, you know, they're fighting with their boy Sigvald. But yeah, I still think that the Lost Sylvan Knights are going to be a big player here. And there are basic Chaos Warriors, it looks like, too, that I kind of missed. But yeah, you can see the Lost Sylvan Knights are able to terror out the basic Chaos Warriors, and the Mirror Guard just get broken. And, you know, Hadri's having this massive mobile army is probably going to be able to chase off everything that he breaks. And I think it's just going to be him versus Sigvald in the very end. Yeah, he goes in, he snipes that Deathcaster pretty well with his 2 Eagles. So the Eagles have... Oh my god, I'm part of this this Lord of the Rings meme page on Facebook, and like there's just like a million threads about why did the Eagles not you know fly Boromir to Gondor to the Westfold? You know, it's just basically like... But yeah, anyway, sorry, it just reminded me of that. But the Deathcaster does get sniped. The Spellsinger of Life does also break, though, which is very problematic. And now Sigvald is going to be a little bit trapped up here into all the Treekin, which is certainly a factor. Sisters of Twilight moving in. They're going for the kill, man. Let's go ahead and do some fast forwarding. And oh my god, it is a Sigvald game. It is, of course, it's a Sigvald game like this. All right, guys, so we have 1 million riders for Sigvald and the Sisters of Twilight. What needs to happen here is Hadri's needs to keep like all his units back at once, only attack Sigvald with 1 unit at a time, and then cycle charge Sigvald into oblivion. Where were the Eagles when the Westfold fell? Yeah, it's pretty funny. So this is it. This is just cycle charging Sigvald. That's all you got to do here. Chaos has nothing on the battlefield. Absolutely nothing. The Wood Elves have, you know, a bunch of kind of tattered units. They do have the Lost Sylvan Knights, which of course have pretty good AP values, which is a big factor. Eddie Brown, here's the turn not having to cast out of a cardboard box. Thank you so much, but I would do it. That'd be pretty rough for sure. I'd probably be a dark time in my life, but it's Sigvald versus the world, man. I got my hands off. Let's just fast forward this bad boy and see how this goes. So, cycle charging. All right, this is what Hadri should be doing. He's playing it correctly. He's cycle charging. Units are breaking. And Sigvald's taking damage. Look at the bounce power, guys. Sigvald got pumped right there by the Sisters of Twilight. Brutal stuff. And the bounce power pulls back. But like one slip up, if those sisters taste even a tickle of the pickle of Sigvald here, that is going to be game loss. So they move in. They go after Sigvald. He's getting very low. Bounce of power is going into Hadri's favor now. It looks like Hadri's probably going to pull this one out, but then it creeps back a little bit. It's really just kind of ebbing and flowing in this situation. Would the Eagles not get corrupted by the ring? No, the Eagle just has like the ring on. It's like little claw or something. Or its talon, excuse me. Oh man, Sigvald's so low. But the Wood Elf force is like breaking. Look at the bounce of power though. It's very Wood Elf favored. Oh my god, but everything breaks and then the sisters get killed by Sigvald. Oh my god. Oh my god, this game is insane. 64 kills here. Sigvald is at his cap. He's at 900. He's being chipped down. Bounce of power is now dead even. There's 31 Eternal Guard coming. Oh my god. Look at this. Is Sigvald gonna win this? No freaking way, dude. No freaking way. 700. He's fully surrounded. He doesn't cause terror. Oh my god. He's slippery, though. Sigvald's slippery. The Wood Elves are starting to break, but the Wood Elves pull ahead in the bounce of power. Sigvald's at 500 HP. He's being chipped down. Hadri's now moving in with his other unit. And a thing about Eternal Guard, guys, is the Eternal Guard actually have really good AP values, so they could potentially finish off Sigvald here. Oh no, but the Glade Riders... You know what really is the problem is this fight's at the edge of the battlefield. Many of these units would come back, but since they're breaking here, it's a really unfortunate spot for Hadri's. And now Sigvald is going to kill them, and Chaos wins it! Oh my god! Jesus! God, I would have been for sure tilted if I were Hadri's. Oh man, that fight by the edge of the battlefield, so many of his units would have came back, and then he probably could have killed Sigvald. But unfortunately, the fight took place there. That's just where it happened naturally, and it wasn't like a rule break or anything. It just, oh my god. That was a crazy game, dudes. Crazy, crazy game. So value on Sisters, wow. Sisters of Twilight, 3,798. Sylvan Knights, 1,500, but Sisters almost carried. Sigvald, oh my god. Sigvald with 4,107. Dude, Hadri's, I don't, man, I completely understand. That was rough. Oh my god. 4,100 on Sigvald. Oh god. Jesus. Jesus, Barbara, call the fire department. This one's out of control. All right. Holy shit, guys. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the climax of the stream. Team Haggard is down, but Team Haggard is never out. So, here's how it works. Now we have the 2v2 match. It's going to be myself and King of the Dead facing off against Evenstar and Fistek. So King and I have to face off against an ever-chosen champion and another ever-chosen player who are play together all the time. So it's going to be rough. Basically, each 2v2 win is worth 2 points. So if we win one 2v2, we tie them. If they win one, they go. So basically, King and I have to win both 2v2s. If we win two and they win one, then it's a tie and we have to go to a tiebreaker. If we win both, we win. But I mean, you know, it's a tall order here, guys. Sigvald's crazy. Ruben says Dave Chappelle is turned in a cardboard box. Y'all got any more of that Total War? Oh man, guys, this is it. Team Haggard is down, but are we out? We'll find out here. This is going to be a fun one, I can assure you. Okay. So the first game is going to be myself on the High Elves and King of the Dead on Norska, facing off against Evenstar on the Vampire counts. Of course, Evenstar and Fistek are both Undead mains, so that's to be expected here. Yeah. It's going to be a rough one. But it's time for some 2v2s. Who believes in the Haggard? Let us know. King of the Dead emerging from his den. He's like, it's time. Let's see if King of the Dead is going to throw this. King. All right, we're loading in 1 second, guys. We'll be here in just a moment. Just bear with me. Hey, Kamul! Donation for return stream. Where he streams out of... Do I actually have to stream out of a box, like, in the middle of my room now? Oh my god, that'd be so funny. All right, well, maybe it'll happen if I can get, like, a laptop. All right, so let's load in. This is game one in this best of three. So here are the armies. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's 2v2, but I'll give you guys our general strategy, right? Spears will be shaken. Shields will be splintered. Yeah, let's get an epic speech. We need an epic speech. My soundboard isn't set up yet. There's boxes all around me. I'm literally standing with cardboard boxes surrounding me right now. All right, guys. So for King and I, it's going to be Marauder Berserkers in the front. King, of course, is a very good Norskin player. He's got 4 javelins. No, a ton of javelins. Marauders with great weapons. We have triple or quad bolt thrower. In the back, we do have Illyrian Reavers. But really, my contribution is the bolt throwers to snipe the undead monsters, Alariel plus double Arcane Phoenix to snipe characters. For King of the Dead, he's got Throg, Famir, javelins, and infantry covered, and that is it for our army. So it's the living versus the dead. It is the living versus the dead. And now for the forces here of Fistek and Evenstar, Ever-Chosen champion and top 8 in the Ever-Chosen, of course. They both were in the last one. It's going to be High Queen Khalida with a Lamian Vampire Lord, a couple of Vargulfs, Cryptors. It would appear that we have an Ushapti Greatbow build here from the forces of Fistek. So that's definitely good for us. We have the bolt throwers to counter that, which is going to force them to come fight us. And we have a very, very high leadership front line, right? Berserkers are not going to break quickly, and they trade very well versus both Tomb Kings as well as the Vampire Count infantry. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes indeed. Yeah, once we get more set up in this next week, guys, I'm going to be getting webcams. I have a huge Nicolas Cage poster that's going to be hung up behind me. It's going to be good. All right, so Ushapti Greatbow is getting hammered by our bolt throwers. You can see the bolt throwers getting some good value shooting downtown here. And now the Undead Horde continues to move forward. But this is a good play by Evenstar or Fistek right here, pulling those Greatbows back. And also, I forgot to mention, there's a huge core of cavalry. So there's Blood Knights and Black Knights and a lot of scary overload. But we do have some Marauders and Spears, and of course, Reavers can, be sacrificed. And the double Arcane Phoenixes are really, really good here as well. So they can go in there and, snipe the undead characters, and that's kind of our game plan here. So King moving up with the Javelins, I think he was trying to, bait them in right here. And the Javelins will be pulling back, and Berserkers will be moving forward. For the most part, it should be a totally fine engagement, right? Double Arcane Phoenixes, though, we do see the Vargulf pushing a little bit aggressively into our battle line, so the Arcane Phoenixes do, of course, hit very, very hard, but I don't want to dive into a risky engagement, so I make sure to come back and around the front, and we do get some good damage on the Vargulf right out of the gates. Arcane Phoenixes hit extremely hard. 440 plus 22% from the fire damage against the Vargulf actually adds up to a pretty substantial amount. And the bolt throwers are, unleashing hell, shooting into the cryptors here, and the Ushabti Greatbows are now coming back into combat, so as soon as I see them moving back in, I will be switching the bolt throwers back onto those targets. But that was a very good start for us. That Vargulf is taking a hammering from Spirit Leeches, so King of the Dead and I were able to get the Spirit Leech off, and the Arcane Phoenixes take very little damage. While over here we have Marauders with Grey Opens and Illyrian Reavers fighting, and here comes a big bombardment going to be coming in from the bird. Brutal damage going to be tearing into those knights. That was definitely a money dive right there, and we do the same thing on the other side. The second one didn't hit quite as well. I missed it, but the first one definitely did some work against those Blood Knights right there. Out in the front, King's Berserkers doing very, very well. On the flank, Spears moving in with some Familiar with Grey Weapons to do some solid damage. And the double Arcane Phoenixes were able to get some good Vortexes on top of the Black Knights. But for the most part, just taking very careful engagements, trying not to overextend, because I know that Fistek and Evenstar are both very good at sniping things. So we were trying to play a game very close to our chest here to make sure we don't overextend. So here comes the Arcane Phoenixes. A little bit of a mistake from our opponents. They do push into our battle lines with the Vargulf, which is taking Javelin Fire and also being attacked by the dreaded Arcane Phoenix, again, which is basically a hard counter against Vargulfs. But now the Ushabti Greatbow have moved in. So seeing that they're back, I switch all of my Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers back to focus those guys down. King just kind of holding it down to the center. You can see Throg, the Troll King, has his big Pimp Club out. Oh, Throg with the right hook there, taking out that Cryptor, helping to support my cheaper cavalry against the more elite threats, right? But Balance of Power is looking okay for us. It's a very, very even game at this point. More Javelins moving across, so King has a really nice kind of center position where he can Javelin down the various monsters. And so far, we're holding, but it's going to get scary very, very quickly. Basically, what's going to happen is the Undead are going to collapse his flank. My Bolt Throwers will be exposed. So King and I knew this. We were both kind of talking in chat. We're like, okay, we need to start like gooning out big targets, right? So we slip some Reavers back here. We push back the Skeleton Horseman Archers. These Reavers can then go and finish off the Greatbows, even if the Bolt Throwers can't. In the meantime, Blood Knights trying to get into the backfield, but Spears as well as Marauders are holding them in place. And the double Arcane Phoenix is going to be moving after these Blood Knights, which are going to be embroiled in Spears. And, each attack from one of these Arcane Phoenixes probably will be able to kill a couple Blood Knight models, which is certainly very cost-effective for us. But the Undead are pushing through slowly. Looks like right here there's going to be maybe a Burning Head going down, I think from King. Yeah, I don't think it was myself, and yeah, he's able to get that. So King brought Burning Head as well as Spirit Leech. We had both of those just in case. Reavers in the back do get in there, and we shut down the Ushabti Greatbows, so those bad boys are going to be getting the business, and the Reavers doing some beautiful damage. And more importantly, we'll lead them to Crumbling, which also is free damage. Now, very scary though. Fistek and Evenstar here, getting kind of back on the old horse, and they're going in to go after Throg, but the Troll King does not stand alone. A Star of Avalorn going down, healing up the Troll King for a massive amount of HP, which is allowing him to duel the Vargulf. On top of that, the Eagles are coming to rescue Throg, diving into the back of the Vargulf. That Vargulf is going to take some huge damage. As a matter of fact, may actually go down here. So big healing on Throg. His regeneration plus the Star of Avalorn, keeping him functional at this point, and another bombardment going down right here. So the Arcane Phoenix does bombard the Blood Knights, get some serious damage, and we were feeling like we're in okay shape. Now here, despite our efforts to kind of save Throg, we lose the pocket of Familiar Great Weapons, and we also lose Throg Daddy. Throg is running for the edge of the battlefield, and I don't really have too much here to save him, especially considering that Fistek and Evenstar do have the Skeleton Horsemen, which can escort him off. So at this point, both Arcane Phoenixes are going to be going over to kind of rescue and go after and, saving Private Throg. We'll see what we can do there. But back in this, it's a very bloody affair. Blood Knights just working, Berserkers grinding, Javelins still throwing, and the last of my Spears basically holding. And the Bolt Throwers, Bolt Throwers are all offline at this point, right? Which is very scary. So Throg being chased down by the Skeleton Horsemen. I was trying to goon the Vargulf, but that was probably in the end an actual mistake. I should have made more of an effort to save Throg. We'll see if we can save that bad boy right now. So the Phoenix is going to be moving out there to try and peel off there for a quick moment. King of the Dead, very beautiful Javelin play. He's able to get those Javelins in and start working on the Eyes of the Desert back here. And the other Arcane Phoenix has come back in to try and keep hunting down this Vargulf. But Khalida is also a pretty good assassin character and can do work. And the Troll King has been rescued, so the Arcane Phoenix was actually able to distract the Skeleton Horseman Archers long enough for Throg to come back, and then Throg and his pet bird are able to move back to the battlefield. So King of the Dead is back on the menu, boys. He's moving back. The Troll King is pissed. He has a lot of room to heal. That was a huge, huge moment for us in that game. Now here, Bird going after Eyes of the Desert, trying to take down those elite targets. Fistek and Evenstar doing a very good job shutting down our Marauder Hunter Javelins, making sure to, get rid of all of our ranged tools. But we still have a lot of Berserkers fighting King's Infantry, really performing exceptionally well this game. We have a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire, we have Berserkers, a Shaman Sorcerer of Death. So we still have a very nasty goon squad. And here the Arcane Phoenix is embroiled in combat versus Khalida, but the other bird's coming in. And we're just going to do our best to try and finish off the Eyes of the Desert and or goon Khalida. Here comes the double Arcane Phoenix. We're going in. Khalida's got to be careful. She is weak to fire, So the Arcane Phoenixes, if you add 22% on top of the 400, that's going to be more or less close to 100 more weapon strength, right? Or somewhere in that ballpark. So, yeah, Khalid's got to be careful not to take that engagement. But even Star and Fistek do a good job. They get the spears in there. They get the Crypt Horrors. They have the anti-large Eyes of the Desert. So, you know, we don't want to fight that fight. We figure, King and I were like, hey, we have a more mobile force, right? I have the Flying Birds. Let's just run around, let Throg heal, and I'll just go pick some shit off with my Arcane Phoenixes. Just look for freebies, right? Around the battlefield, because there sure are plenty. Over here, King has done an excellent job of rallying a couple Javelins as well. That'll give some stopping power here against the Vargulfs and these other units. So we'll see if we can make them pay the ultimate troll toll. Here they come. Marauder Hunter Javelins, will they do it? Going after the Vargulf, and here you can see the double Arcane Phoenix moving in, going after the Eyes of the Desert once again. We have Throg here, we have Famir, but they have the spear advantage, which is really unfortunate. However, we were kind of okay with this because we still had 1 Star of Avalorn in the back pocket, so we figured if we get a little bit messy here, we can pop a Star of Avalorn and perhaps do well. But in the end, I think this engagement is better for even Star and Fistek because we're being grinded down by spears. But if I can snipe Khalida, that makes everything worth it. So Khalida getting clobbered pretty good. You can see the poison, the Venom of Asaf going down, but Khalida really taking a lot of damage from the Arcane Phoenixes as well as Throg's big pimp claw. So despite the skeleton spears, Throg and the birds are really doing a number on Khalida, and she might actually be going down here, although Invocation of Nehek, one of the big strengths of having a double undead faction with Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts is you can actually use Invocation on Khalida, etc. It's obscenely powerful. So over here, the Vargulf is trying to hunt down the Shaman of Death, and there's a lot of little micro engagements around the battlefield that are actually doing very, very well. Marauder Hunter Javelins are basically hunting their own version of a Woolly Mammoth right here, and they're getting some good damage, actually crumbling that beast. King of the Dead rallying a very nice pocket of troops. We have Berserkers coming back, and that other Vargulf is going to be going down. It looks like Throg's getting away. My other bird a little bit trapped up. Lamian Vampire Lord chasing down Throg. Throg is shaken, but he should be able to get away from that character. And my other bird is nearby coming to help Throg. A little bit of an overextension, honestly, from this Lamian Lord. Suddenly it's like, surprise! Surprise, surprise, Throg is here! And we start to lay a little bit of a beating on that character. And I believe King called for a Star of Avalorn at this point, because Throg is very low, his leadership's a little bit fickle, it's also hitting both of our birds. So let's stay and fight. We're more or less away from the spears. Let's just give Khalida the dirty here. Even Alariel's coming in, which I think was a mistake. Sending her in, she should just be waiting on the wings to provide support. Throg is very low though, dudes. He's at 26, 14 leadership. He is on his way out. But Khalida with the Invocations of Nehek really staying in this fight much longer than I thought she would. So once again, King and I are in a little bit of a scary pickle. We need to get out of here. There's so many undead trapping us. One misplay could cost us the game, but in the distance, the Javelins have arrived. The Javelins are going to be throwing into the Lamian Vampire Lord, into the Crypt Horrors. Larry is able to get away. And on top of that, I also have heals, right? So I have Earthbloods. My last Star of Avalorn is gone, but Khalida's in big trouble. As the double Arcane Phoenix, really able to get some serious damage. And the Troll King is standing firm with his pet birds. And you can see that someone finished off Khalida. Yeah, Khalida went down there. Throg is broken, though. He has been seduced, apparently, by Lamian Vampire Lord. Don't ask questions. It just happens. That's how it rolls. And the double Arcane Phoenix is on the hunt. They're going after the Lamian Vampire Lord. Will they be able to save Throg this time? Let's look around. Doesn't look like there's any vampire mobility here. There are some horses over here. But, for the most part, these double Arcane Phoenixes should be able to save the Troll King. Granted, he is at about 200 HP. So now the game is more on the back of King's remaining infantry and my leadership and single entity core here. So we'll see what the birds can do. I think I might have had a bombardment left. I can't quite remember, but Larry's fighting these skeleton horseman archers. Crypt Horrors piled in against the Marauders. We are a little bit ahead on the bounce of power, and also I was able to get a bolt thrower back online. So my bolt thrower crew is back. They're running to reman the equipment. I got some spears kind of forming ranks here, and I did use my bombardment here to try and do some damage against a healthy unit of the skeletons. And is the Troll King going to be coming back? Probably, maybe. It's hard to say. I'm just trying to get rid of the mobility here. These damn skeleton horsemen have just been such a nuisance. But I have 2 bolt thrower crews coming back. And despite us being up on the bounce of power, this is still a dangerously close game. And this is do or die. If King of the Dead and I drop a game here, Team Haggard is more or less eliminated from the tournament. So this is just a very, very high stakes match here. Arcane Phoenix flying overhead. A couple of the undead are crumbling, and that was another thing. We're like, hey, let's slow down the fighting a little bit. Again, use our speed, use our mobility, the advantage we have over the undead, and go get some freebies, man. This Lich Priest is just asking to be punished here. He's not weak to fire, but the Arcane Phoenix and the Reavers should be able to kill him no problem. And now we have the Bolt Throwers back in business, baby. And the Bolt Throwers are going to be shooting at the Crypt Horrors, because if we can get rid of mass, then we have freedom with our monsters. If there's mass, they can trap us. Without mass, the Arcane Phoenixes can pretty much just do more or less whatever they want. But this is a big one here. Killing that full health Lich Priest gets rid of their magic, and at that point, Evenstar and Fistek do withdraw from the game, knowing that it is over. We kill their character, and there's no way they could deal with the Arcane Phoenixes. There it is, guys. Team Gard is back on the menu, baby. Let's take a look at some value. Yeah, 2v2s are fun. I'll definitely cast more of them. All right, so birds. Wow, holy shit, 3,300, and the other bird got 25. Those Arcane Phoenixes did it. Bolt Throwers all did pretty good too, but the birds did it. For King's Army, the Troll King, 1,500 value. Berserkers did great though, 1,700. They held the line really. King's Army was like really just the anchor, whereas mine was like the sniping. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, and 21 on the Lamian Lord. Blood Knights really got shut down. This one almost paid for itself, but they didn't do too much. Vargulfs, yeah, losing that Vargulf early there really hurt them quite badly. Kalita got about 2,000 value. Ushapti Great Bows, look at that, 100, not even 200 value on the Great Bows. Wow. Dude, that was a scrappy game. We were legit stressed during that game. We were like, oh god, come on, pull back, engage this, go there. It was such a tense game, man. So for anyone who's High Elves got teeth, man. I'm telling you, those birds, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and do it to it. The rules for this tournament are different. So basically, you can only bring 3 big SCMs per team, I think. So like we had the 2 Arcane Phoenixes and I think Throg. Like there's limits on that. There's different rules for this 2v2 format. So, all right, let's go ahead and load in. And now Gard is here. This battle here, guys, is huge. If we win this, we advance to the grand finals of this tournament. But if you lose it, we're going to have to win the next one to tie. So super stressful, dude. Super stressful, I have to say. Yeah, Norse Elves all day, man. Let's load into game 2. All right, where is it? So this is, oh my god, this game is insane also. Holy shit, man. Because nothing comes easy against Evenstar and Fistek. Like, nothing. You have to scrap so hard. Yeah. You have to scrap so hard against these guys. Their micro is so good. It's like, you have to be on point. So this one is going to be Empire. So it's my Empire and King of the Dead's Warriors of Chaos. One sec, guys. Just got to take a quick phone call here for a moment. It'll be very, very swift. Just letting the game load in. All right. So just let the anticipation build up for a second. Yeah. How frequent? I'll be streaming almost every other day at the very least. So, all right. So just hang tight for one sec, guys. I just got to take this phone call, and I'll be back in just a moment. It's actually pretty important, so it'll be quick. All right, guys, we're back. This is it. This is for all the marbles. We need to win this one. It's do or die, man. This is do or die. So for our army here, it's going to be the Unholy Alliance. So we literally have the two of the most bitter enemies in the old world, Warriors of Chaos and the Empire, fighting shoulder to shoulder. So we do have Volkmar the Grim for my lord. And for King's Lord, I believe he has Kolek. So yeah, Kolek Sun Eater and a Shaggoth teams up with Volkmar. So Volkmar handles infantry, Shaggoths handle monsters. We have a Jade Wizard to heal up the Kolek and the Shaggoth. So it's a pretty strong combo for sure. Now, really the epicenter of our build is I have 4 Hellstorm rocket batteries. The dreaded quad Hellstorm rocket battery, baby. And for King, he's got Marauders. I have a couple State Troopers. I do have some heavy cavalry in the form of Vampire Knights, but pretty much my entire build is put into 4 Hellstorm rocket batteries, a Warrior Priest, a Volkmar, and a Jade Wizard, right? So for King, he's got Chaos Warrior Halberds here in the back. In the front, he's got basic Chaos Marauders with Chaos Marauder Great Weapons on the flanks and a Metal Caster. So King does have Final Transmutation here, which is going to be pretty cool for sure. So our opponents here, Evenstar and Fist Tech, the Dreadlords, they do indeed have two of the more powerful factions in the game. They have Skaven and Bretonnia. So we certainly have our work cut out for us, guys. It's got to be King Lewin, so not Enchantress, and I believe it's going to be Throt the Unclean. So this is pre-nerf. Throt the Unclean here is still obviously very, very strong. It's like some weird music coming in from somewhere. Oh, okay, that was someone's phone was ringing nearby. So yeah, no Sunmaker, because Sunmaker has less ammunition, so we wanted to go for more of that long game. So the battle is underway, and the Hellstorm rocket batteries are going to be just launching into whatever we can hit. They do have Foot Squires, a couple other good targets. Yeah, so it looks like there's, what, how many Foot Squires? 1, 2, 3, 4 or something, and some Battle Pilgrims. So just an unholy Sigmarite firepower coming in. King of the Dead, scouting into the bushes with his hounds, almost gets caught by the Brood Horrors, and they do get terror-routed, but the hounds should be able to get away and will more or less be okay. Basically, King and I, we weren't sure if they were going to go mortars or if they were going to go artillery, trebuchets. So going with 4 Hellstorms, we wanted to make sure we would be winning the artillery duel. So as they advance, the Hellstorm rocket batteries laying some serious firepower into this Skaven and Bretonian army. You can see peasant mobs are being eviscerated, and some of the more elite infantry haven't really been hit super squarely yet, but they will in time. So Foot Squires advancing up. We're in a very defensive position, obviously. You know, there's no reason for us to advance. Just try and get whatever damage we can. Here on the far side, Battle Pilgrims do take quite a bit of damage, and, you know, the Skaven Slaves and Clan Rat lines are actually taking some work, as well as the Poison Wing Globadiers. So yeah, I'm really quite happy with the performance of the Hellstorms. And now, since they don't have any mass over here, looking around the battlefield, you can see they do have Throt the Unclean and a Brood Horror right here. So basically, I'm like, all right, well, Volkmar's going to go get some freebies. So he rolls in here, runs over some Clan Rats, and, you know, this was pretty good for sure. I believe there was like a Paladin nearby or something, so Fistek does get a Paladin, moves in, and goes after Volkmar the Grim and is able to get some decent work in there. So trying to get away, though. Hellstorm rocket batteries are able to break off some of the rats, and so we break mortars. I do try and drop a vortex right here. It was a little bit poorly timed, but it still actually does okay damage. It is able to break some peasant bowmen, but I probably should have saved it for more of a blobby fight, but there was so much going on, I was just trying to be effective. So seeing the Skaven mass coming in on the flank, they're starting to pressure in. It looks like a nice scorch right there onto my State Troopers, but King of the Dead does get Kolek in there, as well as the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and they are going to be forcing Throt back. Throt takes a really, really big blow. Well, the State Troopers do reform ranks to try and, you know, get in there and support in this blob fight. Now, Rat Ogre Summon is going down, so Throt has used his Rat Ogre Summon, but Kolek, you know, he's quite happy here. He's got his Shaggoth buddy. They're really doing some work, but there's globes firing as well, so there is going to be some poison wind effects. But seeing that Kolek, you don't stand alone. The Warrior Priest of Sigmar has got you covered. We move in there. I pop my buffs, the Shield of Faith, to give damage mitigation. Star Crusher's active as well, and Soulfire Bombardment. So an absolute anarchy of a situation. On that same note, Shield of Thorns going down from our opponents to give them some physical resist. But yeah, Kolek doing very well right here. And King of the Dead with a huge overcasted Final Transmutation. It nukes Throt, it nukes the Rat Ogres, it nukes all the infantry, and Kolek and the Warrior Priest in the Final Transmutation able to just annihilate that engagement. That is huge value city. The Skaven Lord got put in the trash can. He's actually almost dead. On that same note, out of desperation, he does dive in with King Lewin as well as the Paladin to try and snipe my Jade Wizard, but King of the Dead bounces back with Kolek as well as the Shaggoth to kind of fend those guys off. Over here in the backfield, we do get some Wolf Rats on top of the Hellstorm rocket battery due to a little bit of a lapse of micro in our back line here, but we do respond quick enough that maybe we can save that situation, but the Shag is doing an excellent job. King of the Dead actually finds his Paladin here and is really, really just going to town, laying just a righteous whooping on these guys. Now, Volkmar the Grim, I'm not sure where he went. I think he's just in the front here. Yeah, Volkmar is being attacked by Lewin. I obviously can't fight terribly well there, but we do use the Grand Shield of Faith and the Hammer of Sigmar. And at this point, I said, hey, King, I need you over here with your Shaggoths. Get over here, help me out. And they're going to be going after King Lewin. And man, oh man, those Shaggoths are putting in some serious, serious work this game. Brutal stuff for sure. Also, what's really good is like we were able to push back the entire push here. So Throt, because of King's awesome Final Transmutation, right? And then the Plague Priest is now isolated, which if we can kill that character, Volkmar the Grim is running him over with his Pimp Cart, Death Hoof and Hoof of Death, whatever you want to call the horses, able to get some brutal damage, and we shatter their caster. So now they're out of caster. We're pulling ahead a little bit on the bounce of power, but you know, they still have Lewin. Their Poison Wind mortars in the backfield are getting some brutal damage on our forces, and yeah, they have 2 of those mortars, both of which have earned multiple chevrons in this game. So this is really rough. On top of that, both their characters do regenerate. So King Lewin regenerates, Throt the Unclean regenerates, so there's a lot of healing on their side. But our Shaggies are doing great, man. Shaggies come back here. There was another Broodhor in our backfield, and oh man, Kolek giving that thing the business. Just blows up as he crushes it with his mighty hammer Star Crusher. One of my favorite things is just seeing like a warrior priest running side by side with like this ancient evil chaos unit and just like buffing him up. I mean, that's kind of the fun stuff and the absurdity of like Warhammer and all that. So sorry about some of the noise in the background. There's some construction going on nearby, but right now the battle's kind of stabilized a little bit. I got the Hellstorm rocket battery back online and it's shooting into the peasant bowmen. Volkmar the Grim still disrupting the foot squires in the front. And whenever any of their mass tries to go after Volkmar, the double Shaggoth Goon Squad is able to step in and really provide me with quite a bit of assistance. We still have some Chaos Warrior Halberds in the backfield too, which is really nice for the late game. And, you know, King and I were like, shit, man, their mortars are really starting to hurt. It's pulling the bounce of power back. Let's go ahead and just, you know, wait those mortars out. Because we don't have the tools to push through this army. There's like knights in the way and rat ogres. We're the ones who kind of have to, you know, just outweather them, and then from there we can kind of make a decision. So Throth the Unclean going in after the Sigmar Sons, those brave Sigmarites holding firm while the Shaggoth runs in to help. Volkmar the Grim going to be dropping a Soulfire Bombardment on top of the Foot Squires while the State Troopers move in, and that Soulfire Bombardment is going to be doing some huge damage for sure. So yeah, Foot Squire is almost broken. Actually terrified. You know, the basic Spearmen should be able to push those guys down and get some work in, man. Over here, King Lewin going in for a sniping attempt. I believe he was going after the Metal Caster, but Kolek and his buddy Shaggoth not taking any shit, man. They're going strong, and even if they do take damage, whenever you play 2v2s, guys, you want to like bring something to the other faction that they normally can't do, right? Like when Chaos comes here, they bring in these big powerful monsters. To Empire, they give you really durable armored troops, cost-effective chaff, whereas when Empire comes in, we bring them artillery and healing, right? Those are things Chaos can't really do, so it's kind of accentuating the strengths of the other faction and making up for them here. So Kolek Suneater going in. Lewin a little bit overextended here. Does not want to be in the Shaggoth beatdown squad, but it looks like he is able to get away. Now, mortars are almost out of ammunition. These ones have like 1 or 2 shots left. And I was like, all right, Volkmar's going in deep. But this was a little bit of a folly on my part. I overextend here, and this was a big mistake. Because again, against Evenstar and Fistek, they're both players who are very apt at sniping things and isolating threats. So here, Volkmar the Grim does get isolated, and that was a little bit of a blunder on my part. But King Lewin moves in. Throth the Unclean move in, but you know, it's kind of like a blunder, yes, but it's also a bit of a gambit, because in moving in, it baits in Throth, it baits in your boy Lewin. Now, I have to assure you, this wasn't an intentional play, but the Shaggoths now come in and they start beating on these characters, and we have a blob fight, which is what we want. Shield of Faith going down, Star Crusher's active. This is actually going to be a winning fight for us, 100%, with the double Shaggoths just going ham here. And also, another erect final transmutation. Brutal stuff again, hitting their entire value. You can see the bounce power immediately going back again. Throth gets hit, Lewin gets hit, the Rat Ogres get hit. That was just a thing of beauty, while the Hellstorm rocket batteries continue to just blast into the Peasant Archers here in the back, trying to disrupt them. So Throth is, forced back. He's broken. King Lewin is also here. He's getting taken to Pound Town. The Knights of Bretonnia are a little bit overextended. Those bad boys are going to be getting, worked down by the Shaggoths. But the other Dragon Ogre Shaggoth a little bit low, but check this out. This is what I was talking about earlier, right? Normally the Shaggoth might be in a little bit of trouble here. Things might be a little bit scary, but in this case, I'm able to get an overcasted erect regrowth, which is basically going to put that Shaggoth back up to full health or in very, very good standing. Normally a Shaggoth would, not have access to such things. So that is very, very important for sure. So, knowing that the Shaggoths kind of had this covered, Volkmar going to be kind of disrupting these mortars. You can see a Searing Doom going down from King, which does help to break the Rat Ogres. And the Warrior Priest once again providing buffs to the Shaggoths while also supporting these Chaos Warrior Halberds as they do move up. So King and I pull ahead very, very far in that game. The artillery still shooting. Evenstar and Fistek getting in there with their Poison Wind mortars and moving forward. And you can see that regrowth on that Shaggoth, able to heal him up so much to the point where, it's some serious business. So our opponent's basically regrouping here. Throth the Unclean is very low. Lewin is also not quite at his healing cap, but can get there pretty quick, actually, probably after a couple fights. But man, King and I really come ahead in that game. After that engagement, the final transmutation, the regrowth, the Warrior Priest buffs, the Star Crusher, all that sort of good stuff, really, really just did it. So at this point, we pretty much knew the artillery in the back was pointless to defend. We had some spears back there kind of fighting. Our Jade Wizard's a little bit isolated, but we really knew that the only way our opponents could win is if we just split up and just make stupid engagements and let them get shit for free. But those Shaggoths are not going to be easy. Kolek turns around, able to get some damage on Lewin. And Throth the Unclean going after the Warrior Priest, which I did overextend with. I kind of lost control of my groups because I was trying to get the Jade Wizard safe. So a slight misplay there, but, the Warrior Priests aren't slouches. He's got decent leadership, so hopefully he can turn around and hold against Throth the Unclean, especially with some of his buffs active. But we made a little bit of a mistake there splitting up our forces, but we were so busy trying to save Volkmar because he really is our answer with against the infantry and just the hordes of chaff and different things like that. We basically had to eat all of those mortars in the face, like just this entire game. And so the warrior priest does get isolated, like I said, but he does have the shield of faith, which will give him some nice ward save against damage types. He also has the banner of flame, which makes him not terrible here. And it looks like, I think, someone's dropping a Soulfire Bombardment here. So yeah, despite them blobbing on me, the Soulfire actually nails the Questing Knights and forces off the Clan Rats. So once again, the Haggard Empire Gambit is good. Like, Throt would not have been caught in this situation if not the Warrior Priest being there, right? So suddenly King arrives with his big hammers. He's able to force back Throt, but Throt probably will stabilize here. Lewin also lands, trying to finish off Volkmar the Grim, 691 HP, but again, the Shaggus are just having to protect these Empire characters while they finish off the chaff units. So again, we have our anti-large, we have our anti-infantry via the Warrior Priest and Volkmar, and the balance power does kind of ebb and flow a little bit, but we still have, Spearmen and the Hellstorm Rocket Battery crew up on the high ground, but we just need to shut down these mortars and these different missile pieces, right? That really is one of the big problems here in this situation. So Earthblood going down too, so we actually got an Earthblood in the late game, which again heals up Kolek as well as that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, which has earned like 3 chevrons this battle. Absolute insanity, to say the least. And there, the Poison Globadiers are broken. Unfortunately, though, we do pay a little bit of a price up on the high ground. They are able to get that Chaos Sorcerer Lord, but it's almost time for the final battle. What probably will happen here is that Evenstar and Fistek will go over here and try and take out the Spearmen. I think that's probably going to be the direction they go, so we'll see. Here they come. Spearmen holding firm for Sigmar. I mean, they didn't really have much of a choice here. Probably going to get terror routed, so I move up a little bit, trying to, get closer to our other forces. But the Spears, they're doing their thing. 79, the Rohirrim are coming over the hill here in a moment to kind of save them, but I think the Spearmen will probably end up breaking. So it is time for the final battle, the fate of Middle-earth to be decided here, the fate of Team Haggard as they move forward, trying to claim victory from a winning position. But again, they still have these scary lords, and if for example, Volkmar got sniped and then they were able to 2v1 a Shaggoth, it could be a very scary situation, right? So we're moving up very carefully. You can see King and I being very, very cautious not to get too far away from each other, just trying to stay close, charging in. But then Throt kind of overextends a little bit, goes after the Warrior Priest. I pop Shield of Faith a little bit preemptively, but, it's not the end of the world. So we get the Mortar team. Doesn't really matter. They're out of ammo. So it's just kind of a consolation prize. Mainly, we're just trying to obey the attacking rule and stay close together. So now the Shaggus are moving forward, getting ready to go after the Wolf Rats here. And Lewin trying to just get snipes. Like, they're just waiting like vultures for one of us to overextend. But we were on chat right now. We were like, nope, we are not going to split up our forces. We are staying together. That is literally the only way they can win, is if we split up. So just waste their ammo. Their stuff's really beat up. We have 2 full health Shaggies. So we charge in here, which is fine. And then that forces Throt to attack, which then allows Kolek to run over and fight. So here comes, I believe, a Soulfire Bombardment. I can't quite remember. It might be Lord of the Storm from Kolek. But Soulfire Bombardment does actually break off the Wolf Rats here. And Big Chungus Throt, he's in a little bit of trouble, man. He might actually shatter, too. Lewin does land, and he gets a little bit of damage on the Jade Wizard. But you can see the Grand Shield of Faith and the Hammer of Sigmar putting the melee attack of the Shaggus up to like 86. Plus the Banner of Flame gives him fire damage against the Throt. So Throt moves in. The Warrior Priest of Sigmar has the Mighty Warhammer, and then the Shaggus with the Pound Town beat down. He's probably going to break here or shatter. Yeah, he is down. Throt the Unclean in bad shape, and he is defeated. Up in the sky, King Lewin circling about. Might get a freebie on that Warrior Priest. But there is no damn way he's going to be able to deal with these 2 Shaggoths. You can see there, that is going to be victory. Team Haggard clutches victory from the jaws of defeat. And there you have it. Now, guys, it is time to take a look at some of the value here. You guys are in for a treat. Yeah, man. Yes, Wookie. Roar with pride. Victory. Wookie even barked in the background. It was great. So, Volkmar, 2,600 value. That's pretty good, right? Aside from that, Hellstorms, 1,000, 815, 800. Not too crazy. 1,600. Like, so respectable value. But, guys, it's time. Kolek, 4,200 value. Metalcaster, 2,500. Other Shaggoth, 3,800, dude. Holy shit. It's like the Arcane Phoenixes from the previous game. Kig and I basically like switched roles. Holy shit, man. So for their army, I mean, yeah. Mortar's insane. 3,400 on there, 2,100 on these mortars, like 22 here. Definitely good. And 22 on Lewin. Honestly, I would say you hear Wookie cheering in the background. He's stoked, man. But yeah, like I would say Evenstar's army was definitely the carry here. I would say Fistek's forces, like Foot Squires, were extremely inefficient. The Knights did okay. Lewin did okay. But yeah, really, those mortars like almost got them back in the game. Bad Boys 2 turn King of the Dead. I know. So my friends, Team Gard will be moving on to the grand finals of this tournament, which I'll be casting soon. Father and son action. Oh my god, that's so funny. King is my adopted child. Lady Turin and I. We will be moving on to the grand finals. So we'll be facing, I believe, the other team. I can't quite remember. I think they're called Super Team. But Super Team is mainly Clan VM members. So there's like Crabling, there's Tank. It's Dark Phoenix. It's a very scary team. So we have a big fight ahead of us in the grand final. So stay tuned for that, guys. Wookiee's just like getting super hyped there in the background. Hold on one sec, guys. Let me go check on him real quick. All right, guys, I'm back. So that is going to be it for today. It would take me too long to switch over to the other build. It would take like 20 minutes to do FFAs and stuff. So I'm going to instead get some water. I'm pretty thirsty and hungry, so I'm going to go take care of that. But just all sorts of noise going on around here. Jesus. It's a circus. There's someone's like phone in the other room. We have some like painters in the other room like right next to me. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for joining. It's good to be back streaming. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this team tournament. Gard, Knights of the Black Grail. Very well played to our opponents. They were awesome opponents, and it made for a very, very close series. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. That was some of the most fun I've had in a tournament in quite some time. King and I were just oh man, it was so tense. Yeah, it sounds like a mini Wookiee. No, that is Wookiee in the background. That's just him barking. Yeah, pretty ridiculous. So that is it for today. Big thanks to Camul, Eddie Brown, Weaver. Dude, Weaver, thank you so much for the huge donations. Kenny, Wesley Chartrand, Zyphos with the 50. Thank you, Zyphos, the Dark Lord of the Elves, the Champion of France, Aaron Larmour, Ben B, Magic D, Pavao, Way, Mr. Lamp, Magnum Knights, Ephraim Va, the Melee Salon. Thank you for the 50, dude. Weaver for the 120. You guys, far too generous. I don't deserve that. So thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you in the finals. We're playing this weekend, the games. So that will probably be like Monday or Tuesday. We'll be back with the next episode of this. In the Legendary Lore Tournament, I'll be doing one tomorrow. So we're back to regular streams, guys. No more messing around. And the Nicolas Cage poster will be here soon. Yes. All that sort of good stuff. Guys, really appreciate you all. Stay safe. Avoid Nurgle's Plague. We'll be back streaming. And again, I really appreciate you guys sticking around despite me being a little bit absent the past couple weeks. No, I can't do the FFA because I'm on a different build right now because these are old replays. So I wouldn't be able to get in a lobby with you guys unless I reinstall the game, basically, which is going to take like 20 or 30 minutes. But don't worry. We will have that for future streams. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Stay safe and really appreciate you all. Cheers.
Tremble, mortals, and despair. Doom has come to this world.
Featuring Turin. Lotus Moon. King of the Dead. Hadries. And two-time ever-chosen champion Aerocrastic. And last but certainly not least, Wookiee.